Chapter 330. They did not ask Lin Xian why, because they did not know that Lin Xian had the eye of cave spirit. They followed him into the leftmost cave. When they walked in, they found a problem. There were no traces of humans in this cave. The ground of the cave was made of stone, but it was covered in soil. Footprints could be seen. Based on their experience, they looked at the ground the moment they entered. After walking for a while, they did not find any footprints, which meant that no one had been here before. Those martial artists from before were all in other caves. As for whether these caves would converge again, it was unknown. But this was not good news, but it was also good news. The good news was that Lin Xian wanted to quickly reach Arcane Body Realm 10 stars and needed demonic beasts to provide experience. No one had been here before, which meant that there were many demonic beasts. But the bad news was that no one had been here before, which meant that it was more dangerous. But to them it did not matter. The three of them continued to go deeper. In the incomparably quiet cave. No matter how small the sound was, it could be heard clearly. When they went deeper, they indeed saw demonic beasts. And there were many of them. These demonic beasts gave Lin Xian the feeling that they did not know that their compatriots were being slaughtered outside. They were still indifferently spinning spider webs, standing upside down on the wall above their heads, or sleeping in a corner. But when they felt the human aura of Lin Xian and the other two, they all woke up. In the darkness, pairs of green eyes suddenly lit up. This situation was quite scary. Lin Xian and the other two held their spirit weapons in their hands, ready to fight at any time. "Remember, you are my support. Give me experience," Lin Xian said with a smile. Okay. In the outside world, this kind of situation basically did not exist. Who did not want to grind more levels and gain more experience? Whoosh! Lin Xian rushed over. There were no less than 8 dark venomous spiders in his line of sight. The lowest was Arcane Body Realm 7 stars, and the highest was 9 stars. This was the difference. The ones he had encountered so far were all at the 1-star Arcane Body Realm, and none of them were higher than the 5-star. Han Chushua's slender body released a powerful frost energy towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian only felt his surroundings suddenly turn cold. Then, before the group of dark venom spiders in front of him could even attack, they were all sealed in ice. Han Chushua's frost energy was already terrifying, and now that she was in the profound heaven realm, it was too easy for her to freeze a 9th-star profound body realm cultivator. However, he couldn't figure out how those profound heaven realm cultivators had died there. It was impossible for an arcane body realm dark venom spider to kill it. It had to be a profound heaven realm dark venom spider. All of the dark venomous spiders were sealed in ice. Lin Xian's 1,000 evils transformed into a heavy sword. With his strength as a 9th-star arcane body realm cultivator, he directly sliced through the ice and stabbed into the dark venomous spider's head at the same time. One fatal strike, instant kill. The next few beasts were killed in the same way. This was definitely the easiest time Lin Xian had ever killed a demonic beast of this level. This sword is a little interesting. Ling Ying saw that Lin Xian's sword could actually switch between a light sword and a heavy sword. This was something he had never heard of before. Lin Xian then landed in front of them and grinned at Han Chushua. "Little Chushua, let's work together to kill monsters in the future. It's too awesome, it doesn't take any effort at all," Lin Xian said with a smile. Han Chushua paused for a moment. She didn't know how to respond to Lin Xian, so she chose to remain silent. Lin Xian also had the ice attribute, but he couldn't do this. Even if he could, he would have to use an ice attribute martial skill. But what about Han Chushua? What she used wasn't a martial skill, but pure frost energy, just like how Lin Xian used the lightning attribute. It wasn't a martial skill. This was the terrifying aspect of Han Chushua's control over frost energy. Under such circumstances, it naturally consumed spiritual energy, but it was very, very little. "Look at how beautiful you are." Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Of course it's beautiful. With the frost energy controlling all the demonic beasts, I only need to deal the finishing blow and instantly kill them. This is a comfortable thing for any martial artist. Lin Xian said with a smile. Because I can only do it because I'm in the mysterious heaven realm. But if I meet a martial artist or demonic beast of the same realm, I can only use martial skills to freeze them. Han Chuxue explained. That's enough. This was the strength of the ice attribute. How should it be said? Each of the major attributes had a powerful effect that couldn't be replaced. The large area control of the ice attribute was incomparable to any other attribute. Of course, space and time could be compared, but cultivating the frost energy to a certain level and cultivating the space to a certain level were two different concepts. It might take 20 years to master the frost energy, but for space, if you spend 200 years, you might not even be able to master half of it. Lin Xian himself really liked the ice attribute. Although he had the ice attribute, his control of the frost energy was still at the level of a younger brother. It was only when he used martial skills that he was powerful. If he didn't use martial skills, his frost energy would only be able to hit a little stinky brother. However, if he pushed Bing Lingyue down, Lin Xian's mastery of the frost and water attributes would reach the level of mastery. He would be even more powerful than Han Chuxue now. This was Lin Xian's advantage. He didn't need to spend many years. He didn't need many years of hard work. He only needed to *CK a girl, and he could obtain the results of other people's decades of hard work. This was simply too much of a bug. At the same time, if he could get Linglong Shui, his space attribute would also reach the level of mastery. If he could do that, wouldn't he be invincible in the same realm? No, not just in the same realm. He would be invincible even if he was a few realms higher. Little Chuxue, how good is your ice attribute control now? Lin Xian asked. Han Chuxue thought for a moment and said, about 70%. But the most frightening thing about Chuxue is her elemental purity. Her ice elemental purity is over 90% even without any increase. In the future, if she meets an ice elemental world spirit treasure and refines it, the ice elemental purity will be extremely frightening. Ling Ying said enviously. Compared to Han Chuxue, she was a lot weaker. Her dark attribute purity was only 70%. However, with Lin Xian's help, it was now 100%. But the wind attribute is a bit weak. Han Chuxue said. You also have the wind attribute. Lin Xian opened his mouth. He originally thought that Han Chuxue only had the ice attribute. However, after thinking about it, Ling Ying also had dual attributes. It was normal for Han Chuxue to have dual attributes as well. Wind and ice, it was also a good combination. For example, releasing ice crystals could increase the speed of the ice crystals with the help of the wind attribute. At the same time, the frost energy could spread faster with the help of the wind attribute. Chapter 331. However, no matter what, Lin Xian and Han Chuxue were able to work together like this. It was definitely comfortable. Stop chatting, there's movement, Ling Ying suddenly said. Then, the three of them looked in front of them at the same time. It was a very heavy feeling. Usually, anyone who could give them such a feeling was definitely a powerful character. Mystic Heaven Realm was the least. The flashlight shone in front of them. There was a turn in front of them, and a black shadow was getting bigger and bigger as it walked out from the turn. Just by looking at the shadow, they knew it was the dark venom spider. Soon, the shadow appeared in front of them. Lin Xian released his eye of spirit. Damn it! I can't see its realm. Be careful, this dark venom spider is very strong, Ling Ying said. I can feel it. Lin Xian then quietly walked behind Ling Ying. Ding. Hiding behind a lady when in danger is considered a scumbag behavior. Scumbag value plus 200,000. Ling Ying. Are you still a man? Ling Ying saw Lin Xian's actions and cursed. I'm a 9 stars mystic body realm. Shouldn't I be hiding behind you 2 mystic heaven realms? Ah. He felt that Lin Xian's words made sense, But why did he feel that he was doing it on purpose? It was so annoying. Let me test it first, Han Chushue said. She held her light sword and turned into a white shadow as she rushed forward. The dark venom spider, which was at least 4 meters long, spat out white poisonous silk from its mouth. There was more than one, and it instantly rushed toward Han Chushue. Whoosh whoosh, Han Chushue's speed was displayed vividly at this moment. Her wind attribute burst out and she easily dodged the spider's silk. Then, she arrived in front of the dark venom spider and slashed with her sword. The white sword shadow followed the light sword and slashed forward at the same time. Come on. I'll give you a light. Lin Xian shouted from behind and raised his flashlight. Ling-ing. Ding, the dark venom spider raised its front pincer. When the two collided, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. So, Han Chushue used the force of the impact to jump back to her original position. After landing, she staggered 2 steps before stabilizing herself. Mysterious Heaven Stage 5 stars. Han Chushue then said. That's good. Bang bang bang. The gigantic dark venom spider's speed was so fast that it made one's hair stand on end. It let out an ear-piercing shriek as its black figure charged towards them. Fixed image. Ling-ing also moved. Because there was light, there were shadows. Therefore, Ling-ing could also use shadow fixation. The darkly venomous spider that was charging over suddenly stopped in its tracks. No matter how hard it tried, it was unable to break free from the fate of being immobilized. However, in the next second, the dark venomous spider broke free from the shackles of shadow fixation. If I defeat him and let Lin Xian finish him off, I should be able to advance to 10 stars of the arcane body stage. After saying that, Han Chushue rushed up. Hey, look at how considerate he is. Lin Xian said. I beg you, please stop talking. After saying that, Ling Ying's figure instantly disappeared. In the blink of an eye, he was behind the dark venom spider. In the same realm, demonic beasts were harder to deal with. However, that was not necessarily the case. If the opponent was an expert like Ling Ying or Han Chushue, then the martial artist would be even harder to deal with. Demonic beasts had their own advantages. Qi, the strength of Ling Ying's dark attribute, was highlighted at this moment. The dark venom spider could not react at all and was directly stabbed in the back. However, it's too hard. It can't be penetrated. After saying that, Ling Ying distanced himself from the beast. This was normal. Demonic beasts had strong physiques. In addition, they were 3 or 4 stars higher than them. It was difficult to injure them normally. However, they did not panic. This was only a temporary test of the waters. They had not used any martial techniques yet. Lin Xian actually felt like he was a gigolo. The 2 girls were helping him fight, and he was the one who finished him off. Heavens! Was this the result of being handsome? Then he hoped that he was more handsome. However, although Lin Xian's realm was not high, he still hoped that he could help them a little. Heavenly thunder flash. Boom! A bolt of lightning condensed energy was thrown over. It directly exploded on the dark venom spider's body. I beg you, don't do anything. Ling Ying let out a helpless voice. Sorry, I'll just stay here and not do anything. Lin Xian said awkwardly. The heavenly thunder flash had a range of 5 meters and almost injured Ling Ying. Chushue, do you dare to finish it in 10 seconds? Ling Ying landed beside Han Chushue. Han Chushue did not reply. Instead, she replied to him with an action. 10 seconds. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. Was this an expert? Facing a demonic beast that was several stars higher than her, she actually wanted to finish it in 10 seconds. Boom! The terrifying shockwave directly penetrated the wall. This was the infrasound released by the dark venom spider. Luckily, it was not released on Lin Xian. Otherwise, if he was hit, his internal organs would have been directly shattered. Seeing this, Lin Xian silently retreated a little more. At this moment, Han Chushue leaped up, her delicate body actually floating in mid-air. A terrifying cold energy exploded from her body. This cold energy seemed to even freeze the air. And Ling Ying was attracting the dark venom spider's attention. Countless ice crystals formed around Han Chushua's body. What made Lin Xian's jaw drop was that this cold energy actually froze the thick walls around them to the point that they cracked. This was done purely with cold energy. How cold was that? This was clearly one of Han Chushua's big moves. As for its grade, it was at least 5 stars. "Let's go!" Han Chushua shouted. Following that, Ling Ying borrowed the power of the dark attribute to disappear from the spot, using the darkness like a ghost to appear beside Lin Xian. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. The ice crystals that filled the sky were unimaginably fast. It must have been combined with Han Chushua's wind attribute power, for they all rushed towards the dark venom spider in an instant. Green blood splattered all over the surrounding walls as countless ice crystals pierced through the dark venom spider's body. The dark venom spider was naturally heavily injured, but it was not as serious as imagined because it had blocked all the ice crystals that could cause fatal damage to it. "All right, leave it to me." Ling Ying's lips curled. Lin Xian then saw Ling Ying disappear beside him, and she appeared above the dark venom spider. In Lin Xian's vision, it was as if he saw all the darkness around him turn into threads and enter Ling Ying's body. Lin Xian even thought that he was seeing things. He rubbed his eyes. No, it was true. The darkness had really entered Ling Ying's body and soared. What kind of move was this? In the next instant, Lin Xian's jaw dropped. Ling Ying was attacking the dark venom spider at a speed that could not be seen with the naked eye. He could only see the shadows of the black sword, and the dark venom spider's body suddenly pausing from the continuous attacks. This was not the most exaggerated part. The most exaggerated part was the frequency of the attacks. Ling Ying's attack frequency was like light, and he could really see a flash of light piercing through the dark venom spider's body at an unimaginable speed. Chapter 332. Damn! That attack frequency is invincible! Lin Xian exclaimed. Han Chushua landed beside Lin Xian and said softly, "The limit of this skill is 30 attacks in a second. It can even kill an opponent who is 7 or 8 levels higher, as long as the opponent isn't of the earth or metal element. 30 attacks in 1 second. Wouldn't this hand speed be enough to break me?" Huh! Han Chushua did not understand what Lin Xian meant. It's fine. Lin Xian smiled bitterly, feeling a little despicable. A few seconds later, Ling Ying landed in front of Lin Xian. The dark venom spider's 6 limbs, front claws, and everything else protruding out of its body had been cut off. All that was left of the dark venom spider was its dying body. Even if they did not finish it off, the dark venom spider had no chance of survival. Whoosh whoosh. The dark venom spider was still spitting poisonous silk at Lin Xian and the others, as if it was its last bit of stubbornness. No, it was fear. It was so afraid that it attacked subconsciously. It was like a person who had lost his mind and was crazily shooting at his enemies with a submachine gun. Of course he could not hit them, so he had lost his mind. The poison it spat out was disorderly. It was obvious that it was in despair. Han Chushua swung her sword. The sword chi hit the dark venom spider. The dark venom spider's body slammed into the wall and fell to the ground. It turned into an ice sculpture on the way to the ground. "Go finish it off," Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian scratched his head. Hee, I'm a little embarrassed." With that, he walked over. "If you're sorry, then please show a little bit of embarrassment." Ling Ying secretly touched his forehead. Indeed, a shameless person was invincible. "Let me think about how to deal with it," Lin Xian muttered. "Hey, hurry up and end it. Otherwise I'm hanging up," Ling Ying shouted. Then Lin Xian placed Thunderbolt on the icicle. Buzz buzz buzz. Lightning exploded, followed by the smell of charcoal. "No, it's the stench. This bastard must have done it on purpose." Ling Ying covered his nose. Some things were super fragrant after being roasted, but some things were super smelly. Obviously, This poisonous spider definitely didn't smell good. Ding. You have leveled up to 10 stars of the arcane body realm. As expected, after killing this beast, Lin Xian had successfully reached the 10 stars of the arcane body realm. Let's go, let's go. I can't hold on any longer. Lin Xian was about to vomit. Why did he have to use lightning to electrocute this thing to death? The smell of burnt meat was unbearable. Didn't they say that everything could be eaten? How could this be eaten? Even if he died, even if he starved to death, he wouldn't eat it. You're sick. He's really sick. Ling Ying said helplessly and quickly left with Han Chuxue. When they arrived, they saw Lin Xian eating the heavenly star fruit. The taste is not bad, Lin Xian praised. Ling Ying was envious. But she wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, Lin Xian had promised to give it to her. She still believed in Lin Xian's words. Although this bastard was usually unreliable. Ding. You have leveled up to the arcane heaven realm. A terrifying power erupted from Lin Xian's body. Arcane heaven realm. Lin Xian suddenly clenched his hands and felt a power that he had never felt before coming from his fingertips. 1 stage was the difference between 10 stars of the arcane body realm and 1 star of the arcane heaven realm. This difference of 1 stage made Lin Xian feel an earth-shattering change. No wonder when he fought with Chu Haohan, who was at the arcane body realm, he only had the strength of 1 stage. The difference of this realm was simply too great. It was tens of times greater than when he advanced from the spirit focus realm to the arcane body realm. It might even be more than that. This feeling is so good. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that with just 1 stage, Lin Xian felt that his strength had increased by several times. Lin Xian hurriedly took a look at his attributes. Name, Lin Xian. Age, 21. Realm, Arcane Heaven Realm. 1 star level, 31 experience points. 0103000 Scumbag value, 312101000 Strength, 106 Vitality, 166 Agility, 155 Spirit, 945 Spiritual Energy, 350. The other attributes were considered average, but his spiritual energy was quite high. Lin Xian was quite satisfied. He looked at Han Chuxue's spiritual energy. It was only a little over 800, but his was close to 950. This also caused his spiritual energy to be higher than Han Chuxue's by nearly 1,000. Now, he could release the 1,000 Attractors' heavenly prison. And after releasing it, he would have over 2,000 spiritual energy. Awesome. But that was not necessarily the case. The 1,000 Attractors' heavenly prison required at least 3,000 spiritual energy. The bigger and stronger the prison, the more spiritual energy it would consume. How's the power of the arcane heaven realm? Ling Ying asked with a smile. Awesome. I feel like I'm flying. Lin Xian laughed. It was really awesome. He had experienced the power of the Grand Dominion realm before. That feeling was even more exaggerated, but this feeling was more realistic, and he liked it more. However, the F*King Arcane Heaven Realm already required 100,000 experience points to level up. That was ridiculous. But at the same time, Arcane Heaven Realm monsters also brought a lot of experience points. So relatively speaking, it was nothing. As long as he continued to kill higher level monsters, the experience points would naturally be higher. Hurry up and move forward. I feel that the gloom spider's carcass might attract some people or even monsters. Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. They're already here. Han Chuxue looked ahead. A group of gloom spiders rushed out. Lin Xian glanced around. Most of them were at the arcane body realm, but there were a few at the arcane heaven realm. Let me. I want to test the power of the arcane heaven realm, Lin Xian said eagerly. Then go ahead. Be careful, these gloom spiders are very sharp. Even if you're at the arcane heaven realm, you might be pierced through by them. Ling Ying warned. After all, there were too many gloom spiders in front. Do you need my help? Han Chuxue asked. No need. I'll do it. Lin Xian's lips curled. He was really looking forward to the power of the arcane heaven realm. Whoosh! Lin Xian rushed forward. If anyone saw him, they would think that he was crazy. Wasn't this too dangerous? Thousand lightning strike. Lin Xian's thousand evils saber was wrapped in lightning. He rushed forward and swung it continuously, as if he was cutting tofu. With the arcane heaven realm and the doubled strength, he could cut through iron like it was mud. Whoosh! He slashed out with 1,000 lightning strike, and the terrifying lightning sword aura whistled through the air, clearing everything in front of him. Extreme lightning sky flash. Lin Xian rushed into the group of monsters again and swung his saber, surrounded by lightning. The moment the extreme lightning sky flash was formed, dozens of lightning sword shadows fell from the sky. The terrifying power tore the gloom spiders apart, and at the same time, formed a lightning sword formation. All the gloom spiders were electrocuted to death. Chapter 333. To be honest, the two girls were very surprised. Where did Lin Xian get so many Earth-tier martial skills? Han Chushu asked Ling Ying in surprise. She counted the martial skills that Lin Xian had used, and it seemed that they were all Earth-tier martial skills. Ordinary martial artists would be burning incense to have an Earth-tier martial skill. 90% of martial artists had the limit of a profound tier martial skill, and they did not have the ability to obtain an Earth-tier martial skill. Because of their own uniqueness, it was normal for them to have several Earth-tier martial skills, but Lin Xian, according to Han Chushua's understanding of Lin Xian, his family was very ordinary. At most, they were a little rich, but Earth-tier martial skills were not something that could be obtained with money. But every martial skill that Lin Xian displayed was at least Earth-tier. Who could withstand this? This made Han Chushue especially curious. I don't know either, Ling Ying said helplessly. Not only did he have Earth-tier martial skills, but Lin Xian had too many things that made her feel incredulous. Sky Star Fruit, attribute increasing potions, and when Lin Xian used some method to kill a Thunder Tribulation Realm beast in the demonic beast domain, all of these were heaven-defying. She also did not know where Lin Xian came from. She felt that Lin Xian was too mysterious. Could it be that Lin Xian knew Linglong Shui at that time? Did not seem like it. She felt that when Lin Xian and Linglong Shui met in Deep Cold Valley, their relationship was very tense. Now that their relationship was good, it proved that Lin Xian knew how to pick up girls, but it was not good before, so it was even more impossible for him to get so many rare treasures from Linglong Shui. Ling Ying asked before, but Lin Xian did not tell her, so she did not ask anymore. Who did not have a secret? But she was definitely curious. For example, Lin Xian had many Earth-tier martial skills. Just based on what she saw, Lin Xian had 4 Thunder attribute Earth-tier martial skills. Who? Lin Xian came to their side, then let out a sigh of relief and grinned. Am I? Ling Ying. Han Chushue. Scram. What a vulgar person. Alright, then let me rephrase my question. Am I awesome? The two girls. Was that a sword technique? Ling Ying couldn't be bothered to argue with Lin Xian about this topic. The move Lin Xian had just released was quite powerful. Not only did it explode with an extremely powerful force the moment it was released, but it could also last for a long time after it was released, making it impossible for any life form to survive. Ling Ying wasn't afraid because her attributes were countered. If he was trapped, he could just use his dark attribute to escape from her range. However, she felt that if she couldn't escape, if she was trapped inside, it would be difficult for her to survive. She was also quite envious. The lightning attribute was indeed powerful. However, the dark attribute was even more powerful. And it was also very powerful. It's a sword technique. To be precise, it uses sword techniques to form a sword array. It needs some time to release it, but it's very powerful, Lin Xian said. The main reason he released it was to see how powerful this heavenly lightning flash was. He was very satisfied with the answer. As of now, he basically didn't lack any martial arts techniques. He had all kinds of offensive martial arts techniques, but what he lacked was a life-saving martial arts technique. However, at the same time, he needed to have the corresponding attributes. He had a life-saving technique, the spatial attribute. However, Lin Xian still wanted various other attributes. Every attribute he obtained was simply too much for Lin Xian to improve. It was an increase of several times. Of course, just having attributes wasn't enough. He also needed attribute proficiency. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that much stronger. He could only release the corresponding power to achieve the effect of the corresponding attribute. However, that was enough. Lin Xian didn't have that much time to increase every attribute to a certain level. Fortunately, he had the scumbag system. Completing the mission would allow him to increase his attribute proficiency. I can feel it. If I'm trapped inside, I probably won't be able to survive. Han Chushue said faintly. Lin Xian smiled. That's not necessarily the case. Firstly, it's not easy to trap martial artists with the wind attribute. Secondly, it's still possible to kill ordinary martial artists and demonic beasts. I don't believe that you guys can't fight back after being trapped inside. Lin Xian was also speaking the truth. Unless it was a heaven-grade martial arts technique, it could kill martial artists of their level. If it wasn't, it would be very difficult under normal circumstances. Han Chushue then nodded slightly. She wanted to show that Lin Xian's martial arts technique was very powerful. It was indeed powerful. Both of them had advanced to Mysterious Heaven Realm 1 star. That was enough. Lin Xian felt that what he had gained so far today was already more than enough. Wasn't reaching the Mysterious Heaven Realm enough? It was completely enough. Even if they went back now, it wouldn't matter. However, the current situation wasn't good for the three of them. They needed to run out or kill their way out. That was obviously stupid. They needed to kill them one by one. We'll go our own way, and they'll chase after them. Whether we live or die, it'll be up to fate. Lin Xian said. All right. Then, the three of them continued to move forward. In fact, there weren't that many demonic beasts in this place. These demonic beasts were more refined. Basically, all of them were at the Mysterious Heaven Realm. However, there weren't many of them. It was as if these Mysterious Heaven Realm demonic beasts had their own small territories. After reaching the Mysterious Heaven Realm, they didn't care about the experience given by the Mysterious Heaven Realm 1-star demonic beasts, unless it was a large amount of experience. With Lin Xian's lightning attribute, an Earth-grade martial arts technique could instantly kill opponents of the same realm. It could even seriously injure opponents 2 stars higher than him. This was the strength of Earth-grade martial arts and the lightning attribute. However, the prerequisite was that it had to hit. However, once it was hit by Lin Xian, it would be fatal. We should be in a very deep area now. This should be close to the distance where the people who obtained the Deep Abyss Yama spirit went. However, logically speaking, there shouldn't be enough oxygen in such a deep place. On the contrary, I feel that the deeper we go, the more oxygen there is compared to the previous area. Do you guys feel the same? As they walked, Ling Ying looked at Han Chushue and Lin Xian and asked. The two of them nodded. This was also what Lin Xian was very curious about. Oxygen was released by plants through photosynthesis. The deeper they went, the thinner the oxygen from the whole. Could it be that there was some plant that could produce oxygen? But there was no sun. However, this couldn't be said accurately because there were too many things that people in this world didn't understand. If you haven't seen it before, you can't say that it doesn't exist. The three of them were relatively slow because no one had been here before. They didn't know where the danger was, so the people behind them could catch up to them faster. Soon, the three of them heard a soft sound coming from behind. It was soft because it was far away, but someone was already behind them. As for who it was very important. Chapter 334. Lin Xian scratched his head and looked at Ling Ying and Han Chushue. Let's continue forward and wait for them to come. Lin Xian's group was definitely not as fast as the others because they were at the front. They had to move slowly and carefully while clearing out the demonic beasts. However, the people behind them were different. After clearing out the demonic beasts, they knew that there were people in front of them. They knew that the danger was basically gone, and they just had to keep moving forward. This should be the path that they took. Behind them, the two people stopped and scanned the surroundings. There's water, and the dark venomous spiders were all killed by lightning. They were of the ice attribute and had a large range of lightning attribute. However, the ones behind them were all killed by swords. However, there are signs of ice turning into water. Should be them. Should we inform branch leader Jiang and the others? The other man asked. Don't worry. We're in the dark now. Even if we meet them, we won't be in danger. Let's wait until we really meet them. After that, the two of them continued to move forward quickly. At this moment, Lin Xian's group of 3 had just killed a mysterious Heaven Realm 7-star dark venomous spider together. Took a lot of effort. In the end, it was killed by Ling Ying. She also successfully advanced to mysterious Heaven Realm 3-star. Who? Lin Xian took a deep breath and looked at Ling Ying. This won't do. By the time they come, our spiritual energy will have been exhausted by these demonic beasts. There weren't many dark venomous spiders, but their cultivation was very high. Normally this was good news. They could rest and recover their spiritual energy and treat it as leveling up. However, if there were people chasing after them, that would not be good news. They're here, Ling Ying suddenly said. Lin Xian threw a medicinal pill to each of them. This was the spiritual energy recovery pill that Lin Xian had cheated Ling Long Shui. It could recover a large amount of spiritual energy. After giving 2 to Ling Ying, Lin Xian still had 5 left. However, he had no choice but to use it now. I'll consume it first to recover my spiritual energy value. Lin Xian still had more than 1,000 spiritual energy value left. When he took the pill, his spiritual energy value increased by 3,000. Lin Xian, F***CK. This spirit recovery pill is so overbearing. Lin Xian exclaimed. If he could use it endlessly, he wouldn't have to worry about running out of spiritual energy value. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The 3 of them recovered their spiritual energy value and continued to move forward. At this time, they entered a relatively large space. The moment they stepped in, they felt a strong spiritual energy of heaven and earth. At the same time, the air was filled with a dense poison. The effect of the serum is about to wear off. We can rely on our strength and the residual effects of the serum to resist the poison. However, if we get bitten by the dark venom spider, we'll be in danger, Ling Ying said with a frown. This place. Why is the poison in the air suddenly so much stronger? Han Chushue glanced around. Is that the abyssal Yama spirit? Lin Xian suddenly saw a green plant in the corner. This should be the first plant they saw after going deep inside. The 2 women looked in the direction Lin Xian's flashlight was shining. It's the abyssal Yama spirit. Ling Ying showed a surprised expression. This abyssal Yama spirit was actually nothing special. It was about 50 centimeters tall and covered in green vegetation. A main root extended from it, and leaves that looked like clover grew on top of it. This wasn't anything special, but if there was anything special about it, it would be the black light that lingered around the abyss Yama spirit. What is this light? To be precise, it's poison. The abyssal Yama spirit's poison is in place. When it's not touched, this black power will constantly linger, releasing a strong poison at the same time. Once touched, the poison will be divided into 2 parts. One part will attack the person who touches it, while the other part will really pour into the abyssal Yama spirit. The abyssal Yama spirit you see now is actually not its true appearance. Then Ling Ying walked over. Be careful. Ling Ying shook his head and said, It's okay. This abyssal Yama spirit is probably only in its infancy. I'm afraid that the 2 people at that time had only consumed the infancy abyssal Yama spirit. They didn't obtain the poison attribute without withstanding the poison. I'm afraid that you really need a particularly strong abyssal Yama spirit to obtain the poison attribute. Of course, the premise is that you don't die. After saying that, Ling Ying stretched out his hand towards the abyssal Yama spirit. Lin Xian was frightened. Of course, Ling Ying's hand was wrapped with her spiritual power to isolate the poison. Then, Lin Xian saw that part of the black poison gas surrounding the abyssal Yama spirit directly rushed up to Ling Ying's arm, and the other part poured into the veins of the leaves. When the poison poured into the veins of the leaves, Lin Xian was surprised to see the changes in the abyssal Yama spirit. The green vegetation turned into a particularly strange black-purple color in an instant. Even the veins on the leaves looked like blood flowing inside. If this was the abyssal Yama spirit, Lin Xian would definitely believe it. With this appearance, even a fool would know what level of spiritual grass this was. Lin Xian frowned. If he didn't know about the abyssal Yama spirit before, it was understandable because this was the first time he had heard of it. However, when Lin Xian saw the appearance of the abyssal Yama spirit, the sacred imperial physician technique in his memory recorded it. In the sacred imperial physician technique, there was such a poisonous grass. It was green and poisonous. Lin Xian was also aware of this, but he didn't think much about it at that time. The following description said that when the poison entered the veins of the leaves, it would appear purplish-black with red veins. The veins were like blood-red blood vessels. It was an extremely precious and terrifying poisonous grass. However, in the sacred imperial physician technique, this poisonous grass was not called abyssal Yama spirit. In other words, the sacred imperial physician technique was something from Earth. It was very likely, because the name of this grass on planet Aqua Blue was abyssal Yama spirit, but it wasn't in the sacred imperial physician technique. Could only be from another world. However, whether the scumbag system came from Earth or another plane, Lin Xian didn't know. He wasn't sure if it was a product of Earth. If Lin Xian wasn't sure if the poison attribute was because of the abyssal Yama spirit, he knew now. It was indeed a abyssal Yama spirit. According to the sacred imperial physician technique, the abyssal Yama spirit was a spiritual object of heaven and earth. It could even develop intelligence from such a poisonous grass and gradually transform into a human form. It was a spiritual object of this level. Of course, this required an extremely harsh environment. It required an extremely strong spiritual power of heaven and earth and time to be possible. However, this was enough to show how terrifying the abyssal Yama spirit was. A young abyssal Yama spirit was very weak. It was considered a child when it was about 60 centimeters tall. However, it was still independent and ordinary martial artists would die if they touched it. A abyssal Yama spirit of more than 60 centimeters to 1 meter tall was a terrifying nightmare. Its poison was unimaginable. At the same time, taking and refining a abyssal Yama spirit of this level could give one the ability to release poison. Chapter 335. This poison was naturally one of the methods to obtain the poison attribute. Lin Xian was also certain that it was this dark Yama spirit. However, according to the records of the imperial sacred art, there were 2 conditions to refine a dark Yama spirit of this level. First, luck. The poison of the dark Yama spirit was very special. It was strong, but it was perfectly compatible with a person's physique. In other words, if a person had that kind of physique, they could refine the dark Yama spirit without any pressure. Of course, the prerequisite was that their realm was high enough. Otherwise, they would explode and die. And this physique was not a special physique. It was just that the human body's genes were special. But so far, no one knew what kind of special it was. The general meaning was that people with type A blood could do it, but those with type A blood could not. That was the general meaning. But that was not the real meaning. In short, it would not be the same kind of special physique as Linya. It was not to that extent. The Poison Master was probably very lucky to have a physique that was more compatible with the Dark Yama spirit, because it was rumored that when he obtained the poison attribute, his realm was not high. Second, it was purely based on one's own ability to refine it. If one's realm was not high enough, There was almost no chance of survival. But there were people who were willing to take risks for the sake of strength, so there was no other way. Ling Ying let go of his hand and then suddenly waved it, directly shaking off the poison. This dark Yama spirit is in its infancy. Even if it is refined, it will not be able to obtain the poison. In fact, the poison attribute obtained in this way was very different from the other attributes. The biggest difference was there was no martial skill. That's right, there was no martial skill of any lower grade. Unless you could create your own poison attribute martial skill. If there was no martial skill, the poison attribute was actually not strong in a certain aspect. It was more of an invisible killing effect. But it was enough. However, under Lin Xian's cave spirit eye, this dark Yama spirit had indeed released a lot of heaven and earth spiritual energy, but there was even more dense heaven and earth spiritual energy in the depths. In other words, there was a heaven and earth spiritual treasure that was even stronger and more precious than this dark Yama spirit. As for whether it was an even more powerful dark Yama spirit, that was unknown. "They're here." Ling Ying's ears twitched slightly, and then she said. The three of them looked in the direction they had come from. Then two figures walked over. When the two of them entered, they naturally looked at Lin Xian and the others. When Lin Xian saw that it was still the same two people, he laughed in his heart. If it wasn't for the fact that they had already confirmed that these two people were members of the evil divine palace, it wouldn't have been easy for them to make a move, because they didn't know if they were ordinary warriors or people from the evil divine palace. However, Ling Ying had secretly heard the conversation between these two people on the phone, so he knew that they were from the evil divine palace. They were here to kill them. However, they didn't know that Lin Xian and the others were aware of this fact. "I didn't expect us to be so fated. This isn't the first time we've met in the 10,000 Spider Cave. My name is Chen Su, nice to meet you." When they met this time, they were bound to talk. Lin Xian smiled and shook hands with him. "Yes, it's fate. My name is Lin Xian. I know these two." Chen Su looked at Ling Ying and the others, then smiled and said, "You're quite famous in Tianhua City, Lin Xian." Chen Su suddenly pretended to realize something, then looked at Lin Xian. "You can't be the Lin Xian who saved many people in Tianhua City, right?" Lin Xian laughed in his heart. This person really knew how to act. Yes." Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said. In terms of acting, he wasn't weak either. "So it really is you. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. I've long heard of your deeds, and I'm very impressed." Chen Su smiled at Lin Xian. Lin Xian also greeted him with a smile. "This is my friend and Kong." Lin Xian nodded at him. "I didn't expect it to be you guys in front. Then you don't have to worry about the danger. Shall we go together?" Lin Xian smiled, then pointed to the Abyss Yama in the corner and said, "Look at what this is." The two of them looked over. Abyss Yama. Their eyes lit up. Originally, they wanted to quietly inform the others of this news, but their attention was instantly attracted by the Abyss Yama. They came here to kill Lin Xian, but who didn't want to become stronger? They also knew that there was Abyss Yama here, and they also knew the powerful effects of the Abyss Yama. If they could obtain the poison attribute, wouldn't they be even more invincible? The mission was one of them. There was no one in the world who didn't want to do something that didn't benefit them, and no one would be indifferent when they saw something that was beneficial to them. After all, they were all humans. Yes, it's a Abyss Yama. It's a pity that the poison is too strong, and the effect of our serum has just ended. We don't know what kind of poison this Abyss Yama is, so we only touched it slightly and didn't dare to touch it again. Lin Xian said. They didn't know how a Abyss Yama could obtain the poison attribute. They only thought that it was a Abyss Yama. After all, your realms may be relatively low. We are all at the arcane body realm, so we should be able to take this Abyss Yama. Chen Su said. Right now, the mission was secondary to them. The main thing was this Abyss Yama. Lin Xian said. We don't want this one because there is more abundant heaven and earth spiritual energy ahead. In other words, there is a abyss Yama ahead. When the time comes, I'll ask the two of you to pick it for us. Course, we are all human warriors. The stronger we are, the more prosperous we can be. After saying that, Chan Su walked towards the abyss Yama. He really didn't have any wariness towards Lin Xian and the other two. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Chan Su stretched out his hand and used his spirit energy to resist the poison. And Kang's attention was all on Chan Su. They were not in a hurry to make a move against Lin Xian and the others because they didn't have the confidence. They also knew that Lin Xian had the spatial attribute and it would be difficult to kill him. They only needed to follow Lin Xian and the others, spread the news, and wait for everyone to rush over. At this moment, Lin Xian and Ling Ying exchanged glances. Han Chushue also joined them in exchanging glances. The two in front didn't even have any reaction. The main reason was that they didn't expect them to already know. Moreover, they knew that Lin Xian and the others were very decent warriors, so they weren't worried that they would make a move in the demonic beast domain. Therefore they were even less wary. Fixed Shadow. Ling Ying's Fixed Shadow and Han Chushua's Cold Energy were released at the same time. The two of them were instantly frozen. Caught off guard, even a mysterious Heaven Realm 5-star would be controlled by them. 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon. The two of them were shocked at the same time, but it was too late. Lin Xian rushed towards Nkong, while Han Chushue and Ling Ying rushed towards Chen Su at the same time. Boom! Chapter 336. The terrifying lightning struck Nkang's body, and his entire body was sent flying away. On the other side, Chen Su's throat was slit by Ling Ying's sword, and Han Chushua's sword pierced through his heart. He didn't even have the chance to resist. On the other side, Nkong spat out a mouthful of blood. The power of lightning and the Earth Stage 8-star 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon still couldn't take his life. After all, it was 4 stars higher. However, now that he was being attacked so steadily, even if he was treated immediately, he probably wouldn't be able to survive. You're trying to murder me. Nkong raised his hand with difficulty and pointed at the three of them. Lin Xian grinned and walked over, then stepped on his body. Ah! A blood-curdling scream was especially terrifying. Murder! Didn't you want to murder us first? The two of you from the Evil Fiend Hall. Nkong revealed an expression of disbelief. Pain mixed with surprise, but he still didn't want to die. No one wanted to die. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Cough cough, Lin Xian smiled and said. Hey, don't pretend anymore. When your companions were on the phone with branch leader Zhang, we had people by your side. Nkang's pupils suddenly constricted. Blood flowed from his ears, nose, mouth and eyes. There was no way he could survive. Don't forget we have a dark elemental here. Ling Ying said proudly. I also have one. Lin Xian. Of course, they knew that Ling Ying had the dark attribute. This wasn't a secret, but they didn't expect that Ling Ying would release the dark attribute to eavesdrop. In other words, did they expose themselves? But he didn't understand. Why did they expose themselves? He knew that even if he was saved, he wouldn't be able to survive. His injuries were too serious. Lin Xian's lightning was too violent. His internal organs had been electrocuted beyond recognition. The only reason he could speak now was because he was a mysterious Heaven Stage 5-star. Why are you suspicious? Nkong spat out blood and closed his eyes. His eyelids were so tired that he couldn't keep them open. That's because the more you try to hide it, the more you'll expose yourself. You didn't even look at beauties like Han Chushue and Ling Ying when you passed by them a few times. Not even once. Is this how a normal man should behave? That's impossible, so you're deliberately not communicating with us, not even making eye contact. Instead, it's your weakness. Lin Xian released his foot. I can't accept this. Tell me who brought you here. Who was the branch master of the Jiang clan? How many of you are there? How strong are you? Lin Xian bombarded him with questions. And Kong spat out blood and sneered. He was dead for sure. He might as well be a dead man. If he wasn't dead yet and still had a chance to live, then he would say that he would beg Lin Xian to spare his life. Even if you kill us, it's useless. All of you must die. After Kong finished speaking, his body lost all strength and his neck tilted. At the same time, a system notification sounded in Lin Xian's mind. It was very simple to determine if a person was dead or not. That was to listen to the system notification to see if there were any experience points. If there were, then they were dead. Therefore, there was no such thing as playing dead turtle breathing technique or feigning death, because it could be seen in an instant. That was the stupidest thing to do. Dead. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment, then he kicked his corpse. F***ck, he's dead. Why did you kill him? Otherwise you might have been able to get some information from him. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian with a look of disappointment. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly and said, "How would I know that this guy was so weak? I thought that since he was at the Mysterious Heaven Realm 5 stars and I was at the Mysterious Heaven Realm 1 star, even if I used an Earth Stage Lightning martial skill, I wouldn't be able to injure him to this extent. But to be on the safe side, I had to use a high-level martial skill. Who knew that he would die?" Lin Xian was also shocked by his own strength. Nonsense. He was fixed by me and frozen by Chuxue. Basically, he was defenseless against your strength. If he defended, even if you died, an Earth Stage Lightning martial skill wouldn't be able to cause any substantial damage to a martial artist 4 stars higher than you. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose awkwardly. How should he put it? He still didn't have enough combat experience. He wasn't sure how much damage he could inflict on a martial artist who was 4 stars higher than him. There was no other way. Lin Xian's combat experience was indeed not enough. Back on Earth, Lin Xian was a piece of trash. Even though he was focused on practicing his sword and training, he basically had no combat experience, let alone fighting someone of a higher level. Now that he was on planet Aqua Blue, Lin Xian had only been able to train for a while and had only started fighting recently. How much combat experience did he have? To be honest, if he didn't come from Earth and didn't have the skills he learned on Earth, Lin Xian would still be a little brother, even with the scumbag system. What should we do now? This Abyss Yama spirit is meaningless, and we don't need to take it away. Should we continue to go in or find a chance to go back? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian and asked, "I want to go in and take a look." Because Lin Xian's eye of cave spirit saw the rich spiritual energy being released from inside. He really wanted to go in and take a look. And, how should I put it? It's dangerous to go back now. The best thing is to kill them all here. I'm just worried that we don't have enough strength. Ling Ying said, "Don't worry. I don't believe that they can send many experts. After all, they probably know our strength." Lin Xian said. That's right, their strength was basically open and transparent. Even if there was a discrepancy, it wouldn't be by much. If they knew their approximate realm, how could they bring a strong existence over? There was no need. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that one heaven's punishment needle was enough. At this moment, Han Chuxue walked over and handed a piece of paper to Lin Xian. It's from his pocket. It seems to be the list of the members this time. There's a list. Lin Xian revealed a surprised expression and then took it from him. 13 people. The person at the top was called Jiang Zun. Jiang Zun might be the branch leader Jiang they were talking about. Jiang Zun, the head of the Jiang family. I know. Ling Ying said. Then it must be him. Lin Xian continued to read. Instead of calling it a list, it was more like a list of tasks. There would be corresponding rewards for the members, and each of them was different. Jiang Zun, Thunder Tribulation Realm 10 stars. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. But it was nothing because if it was done well, the heaven's punishment needle could be solved. The others were all Mystic Heaven Realm 5 stars. No, other than Mystic Heaven Realm 5 stars, there was another person called Chen Wuji under Jiang Zun, Mystic Heaven Realm 10 stars. Chapter 337. Lin Xian frowned. He wasn't sure if this was the name list for this operation. Logically speaking, who would bring a name list for this operation? Weren't they afraid of it being leaked? But who knew what the rules of the Evil Fiend Temple were? What if this was the rule of the Evil Fiend Temple? Originally, Lin Xian thought that it was normal for there to be an especially powerful person, and that was branch leader Jiang. This was indeed within Lin Xian's expectations. Other Mysterious Heaven Realm 5 stars were normal, and there might be Mysterious Heaven Realm 6 stars or 7 stars. It wasn't impossible to beat them. But if it was Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars, logically speaking, they couldn't beat them. Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars, no matter what, was higher than Ling Ying's 7 stars realm. She could surpass 3 stars, 4 stars, and even 5 stars, but 7 stars was too exaggerated. Not to mention Lin Xian and Han Chushue. They had just advanced to the Mysterious Heaven Realm, facing Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars. How could they beat them? This wasn't a matter of being awesome or not, but the other party's realm could easily kill them. Although they didn't surpass a big realm with such a huge gap, how could they beat them unless it was a sneak attack? This Heaven's Punishment Needle was to be left for Jiang Zun. Then what should they do with Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars? Fight with their backs to the wall. *T. They might die here if things went wrong. Whether this is the name list for this operation or not, we have to treat it as if it is. In the current situation, if these two experts are really here, we won't be able to get out alive. Then what should we do? I don't want to die. Ling Ying said aggrievedly. Who wants to die? Lin Xian, do you have anything else powerful? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian expectantly. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, but I can only kill one. So it's not enough. Then what should we do? Lin Xian grinned. Have an idea. What? The two girls looked at Lin Xian curiously. Let's enjoy our last moments. I have a few clothes in my spatial ring. I'll spread them on the ground, and the three of us can do it. Ling Ying instantly understood what Lin Xian meant. Get lost. Han Chushue also understood. Look at all of you. You might not even get to enjoy the feeling of having sex even when you're about to die. Wouldn't that be a huge loss? At least you should feel what it is, right? It's my first time too. I want to feel it too. Even if I die, it'll be worth it. At least I've felt it. Don't you think so, Chushue? Han Chushue turned her head and ignored Lin Xian. Get lost. It was serious. Do you have an idea? Yes. Lin Xian then took out his phone. Help. They seem to have forgotten this. Ooh. Xiao TS's. She has the most free time. Lin Xian then dialed Ling Longshua's number. The subscriber you have dialed is currently in a call. Please try again later. Lin Xian. 2 seconds ago it was still beeping, beeping, beeping. Then this sound came. Oh, it seems like the call was hung up, Ling Ying said, trying to hold back his laughter. Lin Xian showed an awkward expression. That's right, this was the sound of the call being hung up. She hung up on me. See, this is your woman, Pickled Pepper Phoenix Claw. I just broke my promise once, and she hung up. Besides, I didn't mean to break my promise, Lin Xian said helplessly. You're the one who broke your promise first. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. Han Chushue secretly rubbed her forehead. Since when were these two enemies still able to bicker? Lin Xian secretly shook his head. Ling Longshui was definitely the best choice because only she could make it in time. If it was Xiao Runing, she might not make it in time. But this girl didn't pick up the phone. Lin Xian then called again, but it was still hung up. It was as if she was waiting for Lin Xian to call again, and it was instantly hung up. F***CK. Lin Xian then called again, and it was instantly hung up. Did she blacklist you? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian. She can't be, right? Logically speaking, Ling Longshui wasn't familiar with mobile phones, so she shouldn't blacklist him, right? Who knows? Then Lin Xian tried calling Bing Lingyue's phone. 2 seconds later, it was hung up. Lin Xian was confused. Can you do it? A man can't say no, keep bombarding. At this moment, 2 girls were sitting in a beautiful and exquisite cafe, drinking coffee. Their adaptability was very strong. Linglong, why don't we pick it up? Bing Lingyue saw that her phone was still ringing, so she asked Linglong Shui. I'm not picking it up. Linglong Shui didn't know why, but she was panting with anger. She had promised them that she would take them to the movies tonight, and then told them that she would be going to the Beast territory with 2 other girls. They were also beauties, and she had already promised them, but now she broke her promise. She was very unhappy. In the past, Linglong Shui would not have any emotional fluctuations because of anyone. Of course, other than her younger sister, she would not have any emotional fluctuations, let alone a man bringing them to watch a movie. Perhaps she didn't even know why she was unhappy. What if it's an emergency? After all, it's quite dangerous for them to be outside, Bing Lingyue said. Linglong Shui was moved. Ding dong, then her phone rang. It was a WeChat message from Lin Xian. Big sister, I'm going to die. Save me. Linglong Shui frowned slightly. She wasn't sure if Lin Xian's message was a lie or not. Then Linglong Shui's phone rang again. This time she chose to pick it up. What's the matter? Linglong Shui's cold voice came through. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief and said, Xiao Linglong, help. I'm being chased. That's great. Lin Xian. Uffed. Ling Ying couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in. Ling Ying quickly said as she held back her laughter when she saw Lin Xian looking over. Lin Xian glared at Ling Ying and then said to Linglong Shui, Help! What can you give this sovereign? Linglong Shui said. Lin Xian. F***ck. This girl had learned all the words he liked to say to Linglong Shui. Lin Xian liked to say this when he was trying to cheat Linglong Shui. What do you want? Lin Xian helplessly learned Linglong Shui's words. So pitiful. The thing you told this sovereign about. Linglong Shui said. Lin Xian. What did Lin Xian and Linglong Shui talk about? It could help her achieve mastery in her spatial attribute, so it had to be an attribute increasing potion. Of course, it wasn't a loss to give her the attribute increasing potion, but Lin Xian couldn't bear to. He was still hoping that he could cheat more things from Linglong Shui with a potion. I thought you didn't believe me. Lin Xian asked. Are you giving it to me or not? If not, I'm hanging up. Lin Xian. F***ck. Lin Xian swore that when the time came, he would definitely make Linglong Shui cry and beg for mercy. F***ck. Okay, I'll give it to you, okay? But you have to give me some more pills. Spirit blood pill, spirit recovery pill. Chapter 338. The spirit blood pill and spirit regeneration pill were quite important. If they could exchange for some of these, it was actually acceptable. Sure. These pills were not rare to Linglong Shui, but to Lin Xian and the rest, they were treasures. I'll give you a location. You'd better come over now. If you're late, you might only see my corpse. What location? Lin Xian rubbed her forehead. She did not understand. Do you know about the 10,000 spider cave? I don't. Lin Xian rubbed her chin. What should she do? She did not know. I'll send you the location and then send you a video. You can follow the method in the video and use the navigation to find us. The 10,000 spider cave is surrounded by poisonous energy. With your strength, you should be able to easily sense the weak poisonous energy. You should be able to find us easily. Okay. Lin Xian sent her a location and a video of how to navigate. She was not stupid and quickly learned it. Is it close to 200 kilometers? About there. How long will it take? 10 seconds. Lin Xian. 200 kilometers in 10 seconds. That's ridiculous. Just keep going in. I believe that with your perception, you should be able to easily sense the changes in the surrounding spiritual energy. Just go in the direction where the spiritual energy is denser. Lin Xian reminded her. Ling Longshui did not reply and hung up. Done. Should be, but we still have to go in. Jiang Zun and the rest naturally knew about Chen Su's death because they had lost contact with each other. Branch leader Jiang, what should we do now? Jiang Zun frowned and said angrily. Lock onto the location of Chen Su's death and rush there. They did not expect that their men would be killed instead. As for whether it was Lin Xian or the demonic beasts that killed them, they weren't sure. Logically speaking, it was impossible for Lin Xian and the others to kill them in such a manner. They didn't even have time to reply before dying. This wasn't normal. However, Lin Xian and the others' attributes were also very strong, so it was possible. Of course, if they encountered a very powerful demonic beast, they could also be killed in an instant. There was no time to reply to the message. However, he, Jiang Zun, could not wait any longer. He had been guarding the entrance of the cave to prevent Lin Xian and the others from escaping, but it seemed like there was no need for that now. Jiang Zun then rushed into the 10,000 Spiders cave. Lin Xian and the other two continued to walk inside. How should he put it? They had already killed them, but they weren't sure if the two of them had spread the news, or if other people would know about their deaths. It would be stupid to continue staying here. With Ling Longshui's ability, her speed was naturally extremely fast. However, in the 10,000 Spider cave, she could only slow down, because she wanted to find them. Lin Xian could only hope that the two Arcane Body Realm 10-star and Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators would not find them together, or that Ling Longshui would find them first. It's so sad to be too handsome. Someone wants to kill me. Beg you, please stop talking. You killed two of their sons. If it were me, I would kill you too. But I have to kill them. Ling Ying did not continue speaking. 10 minutes later, they had killed another two Arcane Heaven Realm Dark Venomous Spiders. They were indeed not weak. Until now, they had not suffered any injuries at all. They're here. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Everyone quickly turned to look. Bad news. The Arcane Body Realm 10-star is a dark attribute cultivator. Ling Ying's pupils shrank. No wonder they did not notice anything. They had been followed by this dark attribute cultivator. However, because this place was incomparably dark, it was too easy for him to hide. A figure appeared behind them. It was a thin man. He was so thin that it was unbelievable. However, this man's strength was actually at the Arcane Heaven Realm 10-star. Who could withstand this? Still want to run? Zhang Chu coldly glanced at the three of them. When his gaze swept past Han Chushue and Ling Ying's faces, his eyes were filled with lust. That's right, he would not kill these two women. At least not now. Even if he killed them, he would have to wait until he was done. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste? Zhang Chu, right? Lin Xian stared at him. Arcane Heaven Realm 10-star, he could not fight. Absolutely not. Even a casual attack could endanger his life. The current situation was to stall for time. Drag Ling Longshui over. Of course, this was also good news. At least the Tribulation Realm Jiang Zun did not come with them. In other words, if Lin Xian killed him and waited for Ling Longshui before Jiang Zun found them, they would be fine today. Lin Xian mainly confirmed this matter too late. Otherwise, he would have contacted Ling Longshui long ago. Oh, you actually know my name. In Zhang Chu's eyes, the three of them were already in the bag. Whether they lived or died was only a matter of time. Not only do I know your name, I also know the names of all of you for this operation. So the mission list fell into your hands. But what's the harm? If you die, everything will be fine. Zhang Chu sneered. What he said just now was through the headset, which meant that other people were rushing over. But so far, Zhang Chu was the only one. I'm afraid you don't know our attributes, Lin Xian said faintly. That's right, stall for time, and at the same time lower Zhang Chu's guard. The bad news was that Zhang Chu was a dark type. As long as he reacted, he could instantly use his dark type ability to dodge Lin Xian's Heaven's Wrath Needle. Lin Xian was now in the mysterious Heaven realm, so he was qualified to use Heaven's Wrath Needle. Run. Do you think you can run? To tell you the truth, more than a dozen evil fiend shrine members are on the way. If you run back, you'll meet them. If you run deeper, you'll still be courting death. It's just a matter of time. Now I'll give you a choice. The men must die, but the women can live. Live your mother. Ling Ying flipped his hand and threw a dagger over. Bang! Zhang Chu waved his hand, and a spirit energy lingered in front of him, easily blocking the dagger with the power of the mysterious Heaven realm. Mysterious Heaven realm 3 stars. Zhang Chu sneered. Lin Xian, his realm is too high. My shadow fixing and Chushue's power have little effect on him. It's almost impossible. Ling Ying walked behind Lin Xian and whispered, "Run first." Then Lin Xian released his spatial attribute and teleported the 2 women a few hundred meters away. Of course, they were running deeper. In fact, they didn't have to run, but Lin Xian chose to run because, first, he could stall for time. Second, running like this would definitely make Zhang Chu lower his guard. At that time, the fatal Heaven's Wrath Needle would be able to take effect. When his guard dropped, it would be his end. The main thing was that Lin Xian needed to be safe. However, if they didn't get hit, then they could easily kill the 3 of them. Ling Ying's dark element flashed over, killing one in an instant, while Han Chushua's ice element froze the other one. Lin Xian's thunder element directly blasted it to death. Running. Behind them the voice came again. Zhang Chu's realm was much higher than theirs, and there were no more branches here. He only needed to rush over at full speed. He would soon catch up to them. Lin Xian and the other 2 exchanged glances, then faced Zhang Chu directly. "Oh, not running anymore." Zhang Chu looked at the 3 of them mockingly. In his opinion, Lin Xian should be running out of spiritual energy. After all, he had used a space jump of over 100 meters and killed many mysterious Heaven realm demonic beasts. He should not have much spiritual energy left. Of course, that was not the case. It was just an illusion that he didn't have any spiritual energy left. Fixed image. Ling Ying secretly used fixed image. Zhang Chu was stunned for a moment, then sneered. "You have the dark element and so do I. My realm is much higher than yours. You don't have to think about controlling me." Zhang Chu sneered. He didn't want to kill these 2 women, but that didn't mean he wouldn't attack them. But Lin Xian must die. However, he knew that in order to deal with Lin Xian, these 2 women must first lose their fighting ability. But it was simply too easy for him to get rid of these 3. Because he had the dark element. He didn't have time to use it just now, but that didn't mean he didn't have it now. Fixed image. The 3 of them were suddenly imprisoned by the fixed image released by him. In terms of strength, it was definitely not comparable to Ling Ying, but in terms of imprisonment, it was comparable because he was at mysterious Heaven realm 10 stars. Although they were imprisoned, they were only unable to move. Han Chushua's powerful cold energy erupted. Zhang Chu revealed a shocked expression. The power released by this 1 star of the mysterious Heaven stage made him, who was at the mysterious Heaven stage 10 stars, feel very strong. Unfortunately, the gap was too big. "Ha ha ha, it's useless, ha ha ha." Zhang Chu couldn't help but laugh. Heavenly Thunder Flash. Lin Xian continued to condense Heavenly Thunder Flash. Zhang Chu easily dodged the Heavenly Thunder Flash. However, Lin Xian's mouth revealed an evil smile. The 3 of them didn't speak so far, only giving the illusion that they were struggling to survive. Indeed, it was true. However, their better idea was for Ling Ying and Han Chushue to attract his attention while Lin Xian sneaked up on them, but they were trapped. Therefore, Lin Xian could only choose to use Heavenly Thunder Flash to deceive his vision and attention. In fact, Heavenly Thunder Flash didn't want to attack him. Exchange strength. Then, Lin Xian quietly used his scumbag points to double his strength. What was the point of doubling his strength? It was to throw the Heaven's Wrath Needle with greater strength and speed. Heavenly Thunder Flash continued to bombard them. Zhang Chu was completely playing with them. If he wanted to make a move, the three of them would really be dead. But Lin Xian knew that this was the case because he felt that he was already in an invincible position. Why did he need to rush to kill them? Whoosh! The Heaven's Wrath Needle instantly appeared in his hand. Lin Xian saw that Zhang Chu had just dodged a Heavenly Thunder Flash and then released another one. Of course he could easily dodge it, but this time he directly released his strength and easily blocked the Heavenly Thunder Flash. It's useless. Although the thunder is strong, your realm is too low. Zhang Chu said coldly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Lin Xian didn't speak and continued to throw Heavenly Thunder Flash. He was waiting for an opportunity. Waiting for a sure kill opportunity. Zhang Chu was too lazy to dodge. He directly released his strength and blocked Lin Xian's Heavenly Thunder Flash one after another. However, this was the situation that Lin Xian wanted. If Zhang Chu really kept dodging, then he really couldn't throw the Heaven's Wrath Needle. The Heaven's Wrath Needle was secretly thrown out during the Heavenly Thunder Flash. Zhang Chu was casually blocking the Heavenly Thunder Flash a second ago, but in the next second, his pupils suddenly shrank. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and then his figure flew out and hit the wall. Ding! Your level has been promoted to Mysterious Heaven Realm 2 stars. When the system prompt came, it meant that Zhang Chu must be dead. Chapter 340. Who? Lin Xian let out a long sigh. At the same time, the fixed image disappeared because of his death. Heaven's Wrath Needle, that's ridiculous. It was an instant kill. There was no room for resistance. The most ridiculous thing is that it can ignore defensive qi, Lin Xian said. The main thing was that Zhang Chu lost because of his arrogance. He thought that they had no room for resistance. Who knew that Lin Xian had such a heaven-defying Heaven's Wrath Needle? Lin Xian then took a spirit recovery pill and quickly recovered his spiritual energy. In this place, a lack of spiritual energy was a disaster. Let's go. Then, the three of them walked deeper into the forest without hesitation. Jiang Zun, who was chasing Lin Xian and the other two, wanted to ask Zhang Chu about his current situation. Then he realized that he couldn't contact him. Something happened. But Zhang Chu was a Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 star. How could something happen to him? But what was wrong with losing contact? Everyone come to me. Full speed to catch up to Lin Xian and the others. Jiang Zun contacted everyone else and gathered them together. With Jiang Zun leading the way, they could catch up to Lin Xian and the others too quickly. Lin Xian, don't even think about escaping. Jiang Zun's roar came from behind. Lin Xian secretly touched his forehead. Whoosh! Then Lin Xian released the spatial attribute without hesitation and sent them 1,000 meters away. Then Lin Xian quickly took out his phone and dialed Linglong Shui. Big sister, when are you coming? I'm looking for you. Linglong Shui said indifferently. I'm going to hang up if you don't come. Boom! Then Lin Xian's phone exploded. Fortunately, Lin Xian's realm was high, so the explosion didn't cause much damage. In front of them, Jiang Zun's body was burning with flames. That terrifying power was simply terrifying. This was the power of a lightning tribulation realm. Behind them, 7 or 8 people rushed in and instantly surrounded them. Still running, Jiang Zun glared at Lin Xian. This was the culprit who killed his son. Sure enough, like father like son. Looks like none of them are good people. Lin Xian sneered. You're courting death. After saying that, Jiang Zun was about to attack. Wait. Lin Xian said hurriedly. Oh my god. He could not allow Jiang Zun to make a move. He had to wait for Ling Longshui to arrive. Want to beg for mercy. It was impossible for Jiang Zun to let Lin Xian go. No, I just want to say something to you. What? If *king F *king B *tsich. Ling Ying. Han Chushue. You're still spitting fragrance at a time like this? After saying that, Lin Xian ate the last spirit recovery pill and brought the two of them back to the space jump. You're courting death. Jiang Zun flew into a rage. As soon as he landed, two people came face to face with him. When the two of them saw Lin Xian and the others, they were stunned for a moment. Then one of them took out a walkie-talkie. Branch leader Jiang, Lin Xian is with us. Just as they finished speaking, the two of them were killed by Ling Ying and Han Chushue. I'm out of ideas. I'm out of spirit energy. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, I'll hold them back. Ling Ying said, it's useless. You can't hold them back. That Xiao Linglong isn't strong enough. Why isn't she here yet? Lin Xian said bitterly. Boom. A terrifying fireball shot from behind. Ling Ying released his dark attribute and dodged it with the two of them. I don't have much spirit energy left either. The three of them landed in a corner and Ling Ying said helplessly. Were they really going to die? Whoosh, Jiang Zun and the others quickly rushed over. With their speed and without any pressure, it was simply too fast. Little Chushue, if we survive, are you willing to have sex with me? Lin Xian looked at Han Chushue. Han Chushue. Ling Ying. Wow. At this time, this B *tsich is still like this. Lin Xian, today I'll tear you into pieces. After saying that, Jiang Zun led the others and rushed over. Han Chushue released her terrifying cold energy and the surroundings instantly turned into a world of ice and snow. Crack. Jiang Zun and the others who were about to attack them instantly turned into ice sculptures and fell to the ground. Lin Xian's mouth was wide open. Big sister, your martial skill is so powerful. You should have used it earlier. Lin Xian looked at Han Chushue in confusion. It's not me. Han Chushue was also stunned. It was true that she released a heaven-rank martial skill. It was indeed very powerful and could even freeze Zhang Chu, who was at the mysterious heaven realm. However, it was impossible to freeze Jiang Zun so easily. At this time, two figures walked out from the tunnel behind them. It was Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue. Then Lin Xian understood that this was obviously done by Bing Lingyue. When Han Chushue saw the two girls, she was shocked. The two of them were so beautiful that she felt a sense of inferiority, especially in the face of their noble temperament. She really felt inferior. These were Lin Xian's reinforcements. They were Lin Xian's friends. Wu, Xiao Linglong, little Bing Lingyue, you're finally here. Lin Xian cried and rushed over. Bang. In the next second, Lin Xian flew out. Damn! They're on our side. Lin Xian got up from the ground and patted the dust off his body. Lecher! Ling Longshui gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Thank you for saving my life. Han Chushue clasped her fists at them, looking like a chivalrous woman. Hey, I'm the one who saved you. Lin Xian said unhappily. Clearly they were the ones who called for help. Han Chushue didn't say anything. Then Lin Xian walked towards the frozen Jiang Zun. Bang bang bang. Lin Xian stomped his feet on it. *CK. You want to kill me? Who's going to kill who now? Damn it! So what if I killed your sons? I killed both of your sons. Bah! Everyone. It was obvious that Lin Xian was a little unhappy. Of course he was unhappy. Damn it, who would be happy to be chased so pathetically? Stop kicking, he's dead. Bing Lingyue said softly. Lin Xian. He froze to death? Lin Xian opened his mouth. He thought that Jiang Zun wasn't dead, just frozen. That was a loss. Damn it. That was the experience of the Thunder Retribution realm. Damn it. Can't I? Bing Lingyue asked. Yes, 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 yes. Great Elder is awesome. Lin Xian gave Bing Lingyue a thumbs up. Don't forget what you promised me. Ling Longshui walked to Lin Xian's side and said, then walked inside. Hey, what are you doing inside? Lin Xian asked. There's an extremely strong heaven and earth spiritual power here, which means that there must be a very strong heaven and earth spiritual item here. It's just that it's so deep underground, so it's hard to sense from the outside. But we can know when we're here, Ling Longshui said as she looked into the depths. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Yes, with Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue, they could enter the final area without any pressure. Let's go. Then Lin Xian and the other two followed the two women. Chapter 341. If he followed the two girls, he wouldn't have to worry about anything. There wouldn't be any danger. It's still the most comfortable to follow behind girls. Lin Xian said happily from behind. Iron bastard. Ling Ying muttered. Damn. Without this bastard we'd be dead. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Ling Ying. They had already earned a lot today. Han Chushue had reached Mysterious Heaven Realm 1 star. Lin Xian had reached Mysterious Heaven Realm 2 stars. And Ling Ying had also increased by 1 star. They had even killed the hidden enemy. Now, it seemed that Lin Xian didn't have any enemies other than Qin Shaotian, right? Chu Haohan from the Chu family. Perhaps, with the Jiang family as an example, Lin Xian would definitely be extra careful. Little Chushue, what do you think of my suggestion? Lin Xian moved to Han Chushue's side and said with a smile. This bastard had returned to his unruly self after the crisis was over. No, even if there was a crisis, this bastard was still unruly. What suggestion? Han Chushue glanced at Lin Xian. Her attention was on the two incomparably beautiful and noble girls in front of her. She was really surprised. After all, Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue were really too outstanding and powerful. She felt a little empty. Before, she didn't think that she was that outstanding, but at least she wasn't bad. There weren't many girls who could compare to her. Han Chushue wasn't conceited about this, but she still knew it. She felt that being by Lin Xian's side was not bad, but suddenly, two stunning girls appeared by Lin Xian's side. She felt an inexplicable sense of danger. She might be fine, but Ling Ying was even more helpless. She didn't want to be in too much danger. I'm used to it, phew. I'm used to it. If we survive, I'll take you to have sex. Han Chushue. Ling Ying perked up his ears to eavesdrop on their conversation. When he heard Lin Xian's words, he was furious. Slap your sister. Go rub yourself. Ling Ying pulled Han Chushue over and glared fiercely at Lin Xian. The dark venom spiders that Bing Lingyue and Ling Longshui had encountered earlier were the kind that didn't even need to move. The dark venom spiders died instantly. To Ling Longshui, the gloom spider was something she could kill. This was because this type of demonic beast belonged to a different species. Not only did they kill humans, but they also killed demonic beasts. It was a vicious and disgusting existence. Of course, other demonic beasts would kill other demonic beasts as well. However, the gloom spider was more like a hunter among demonic beasts. Simply put, if Ling Longshui was not strong enough, other demonic beasts would not attack her. However, if she encountered the gloom spider, she would definitely die. That was the situation. Moreover, as a girl, she hated anything disgusting and scary. Ling Longshui was no exception. Then I'll go chat with Xiao Linglong and the others. I'll ignore you guys. Lin Xian said and then chased after the two girls in front of him. The two behind him were his targets. The two in front were also his targets. However, to be able to flirt with his girlfriend like Lin Xian was also very impressive. The main thing was that Lin Xian had a good plan. When it came to flirting with demonic beasts, how do you make your relationship with demonic beasts improve by leaps and bounds? Or rather, when you have not confirmed your relationship, or when you have confirmed your relationship but have not yet reached a certain stage, you need a very important method to make it easier for you to make your move in the future. For example, if you found a girlfriend and were still in the early stages of dating, at most you would have kissed her. However, before you had sex with her, the guy would definitely want to have sex with her. This required a method. When you were chatting, you would say these words in a joking manner. For example, Lin Xian and Han Chushue had not even started dating yet, but he had already said the words sex. When they started dating in the future, he would have said it in a joking manner before he had sex with her. In fact, the girl would be prepared for it. Of course, this depended on the person. A sloppy guy like Lin Xian was suitable for this. He had his advantages. Bastard. Seeing Lin Xian approach Bing Lingyue and Ling Longshui and flirt with them, Ling Ying was angry and jealous. Damn it. If he had known earlier, he would have rather been flirted with by Lin Xian than let him flirt with other girls. How despicable. However, with the nobility of those two girls, Lin Xian shouldn't be able to get anything out of them, right? Ling Ying, do you know them? Han Chushue asked. I've seen them before but not friends. They and Lin Xian. Han Chushue didn't know why she cared so much. Did she really like him? 'Cause she cared, she paid attention. If she didn't care, she wouldn't have cared who was next to him or what he was doing. They are friends. I don't know how they met Lin Xian. He had promised Lin Xian not to tell anyone about Bing Lingyue. Even if Ling Ying knew, he wouldn't tell Han Chushue. It wasn't that he didn't trust Han Chushue, but that she had promised. However, Ling Ying really didn't know how Lin Xian and Ling Longshui knew each other. Logically speaking, Lin Xian shouldn't know someone of this level, be friends with him, and even come to save him. Ling Ying was obviously talking about Ling Longshui. Han Chushue was also very confused. Would a virtual realm cultivator really be friends with a mysterious heaven realm cultivator? Or even Lin Xian, who was only a mysterious body realm cultivator before? Wasn't this too much of a fantasy? Xiao Linglong, do you have any more Heaven's Wrath needles? Give me another one to save my life. No, Ling Longshui said indifferently as she walked forward. She had too much resentment towards Lin Xian. He promised to take them to the movies, and then he brought two beautiful girls out with him. He even needed her to save them when they were in danger. Who would be happy? Lin Xian naturally knew that Ling Longshui was unhappy. Even if she was still cold to him previously, it shouldn't be to this extent. However, it wasn't a big problem because her favorability towards him didn't decrease. Sigh, if I accidentally die, the things I promised you will also be gone. Lin Xian sighed and said. Ling Longshui. He couldn't be threatening me, right? Then give it to this sovereign right now. Ling Longshui turned her head and looked at Lin Xian. No, I have to go and make it. Will take a few days. Who knows what dangers I might encounter during these few days. If I die, won't you lose it? You're lying. Ling Longshui's delicate body emitted a cold aura. The two girls behind her were stunned. You said they are friends? Han Chushue asked in surprise. Ling Ying coughed dryly. Of course, they are here to watch Lin Xian and my performance. Han Chushue couldn't understand. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, Why would I lie to you? Isn't that courting death? Also, it's not like you don't know how strong the things I give you are. Chapter 342. At first, Ling Longshui didn't really believe Lin Xian's words. Could he really help her achieve mastery in her space attribute? That was impossible. But she still chose to believe him. Especially after what Lin Xian said just now, she didn't believe him. But thinking about it, the things that Lin Xian showed her were things that she had never seen before. She had never even heard of them before. Maybe he really could take them out. Then Lin Xian said, I didn't promise you that I could give it to you now. I can give it to you in at most 5 days. I promise you that. Even if you want me to take it out now, I can't. Ding, deceiving a naive big sister is considered a scumbag. Scumbag value plus 100,000. Alright. Ling Longshui was indeed noble and powerful, but she was also a little naive. She was too easily deceived by Lin Xian. I'll believe you for now. So, you have to ensure my safety in these 5 days. You didn't know that if I didn't pinch that needle, I would have been killed by that mysterious heaven realm 10 stars. Lin Xian said helplessly. What? Ling Longshui frowned and looked at Lin Xian. Alu. Lin Xian was stunned. Did I say something wrong? Wait a minute. F***ck. Lin Xian suddenly realized something. When he told Ling Longshui that of the 3 needles, one was shown to the Bounty Hunter Guild's higher-ups, one was used on the spot, and Ling Longshui saw it. The last one was auctioned, and Lin Xian said that he used the needle to save his life. Oh my. Self-destruct. Cough cough, I said something wrong. I just blurted it out. How many times have you lied to me? Ling Longshui coldly glanced at Lin Xian. No cough cough. Lin Xian coughed dryly to hide his awkwardness. F***ck. Was he a pig? Fortunately, her favorability towards him didn't drop. The reason why her favorability towards him didn't drop was because in Ling Longshui's heart, Lin Xian was a bad guy, so she was mentally prepared for this. Ling Ying quickly put away the lollipop that he was about to unwrap. In Ling Longshui's eyes, the lollipop was still very valuable. Then tell me, what did you mean by what you said just now? Didn't you say that there was only one Heaven's Wrath needle left in the auction? Ling Longshui looked at Lin Xian and asked. A slip of the tongue, it's really a slip of the tongue. Lin Xian said. Ling Longshui did not believe it. If you don't believe me, you can ask them. I didn't use the Heaven's Wrath needle. I only said that I used the Heaven's Wrath needle to trick that person because that person was also at the auction. He knew how scary the Heaven's Wrath needle was, so he didn't dare to go up. Lin Xian was back to his best trick of deceiving young ladies. Yes, yes. Ling Ying nodded. Han Chushue also nodded her head in a daze. Ling Longshui was still skeptical. Then she sighed in her heart. Why was she asking Lin Xian about this? Then, does the thing that can increase my elemental power really exist? Of course it does. Ling Ying stood up and said. It really does exist. At Yi's birthday party, Lin Xian helped Yi increase her elemental power by 20% in front of everyone. Ling Longshui did not say anything. Hee, do you believe me now? Lin Xian laughed, but in his heart he was panicking. Believe? Course not. They were the same kind of people. Even if Ling Ying testified for Lin Xian, she would not believe him completely. Then 5 days it is. Ling Longshui said. Then you have to give me the Heaven's Wrath needle to save my life. Lin Xian said. Then Ling Longshui threw a Heaven's Wrath needle in a container to Lin Xian. This is the last one. Lin Xian took the Heaven's Wrath needle and said. Hey, you just said that you don't have it. Now you have it. Did you lie to me too? You're still talking about me. Ling Longshui. Why do you care? Lin Xian. Luckily it was a close call. But if you can't give me what you promised in 5 days, then don't blame me for being rude. After Ling Longshui finished speaking, she walked straight ahead. Bing Lingyue gave Lin Xian a helpless look, then followed Ling Longshui. Phew! Lin Xian sighed. Hey, are you lying to me all the time? Ling Ying came over and asked. Lin Xian. Big sister, you know that I'm trying to cheat her of the treasure. Why would I lie to you? What treasure do you have that is worth it? Ling Ying was stunned for a moment before her face turned red. That seemed to be the case. She knew that Lin Xian was trying to cheat Ling Longshui of the treasure. Luckily, she did not expose herself. Otherwise, how could she lie to him in the future? Are you friends? Han Chushue sniffed the question again. Ling Ying said that they were friends, but they did not look like friends. Lin Xian said. You can say that. If we are to be honest, she and I are mutually beneficial. She benefits me and I benefit her too. Of course, Lin Xian was just saying that. In fact, he wanted to sleep with this girl. Sigh, it was so hard to be a man. Lin Xian sighed in his heart. It was not hard, but it was hard to be in the middle of so many girls. He had to sleep with all of them. That was the hard part. In front of them, Lin Xian could feel the strong spiritual power of heaven and earth. Of course, there was also the power of poison. Xiao Linglong, we can't handle this poison. Please protect us. Lin Xian shouted from behind. Linglong Shui did not slow down at all. However, a milky white light surrounded the three of them. This light helped them block off the poison that was rushing towards them. Don't be fooled by her cold appearance. Actually, she is cold on the outside but warm on the inside, just like you. Lin Xian said to them with a smile. I. Han Chushua wanted to refute, but she did not say anything. She was cold on the outside but warm on the inside. Was that so? Seemed so. She was not sure. But today, she was able to meet Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue. It was a good thing for Linglong Shui. Previously, she had lost her motivation. Now, Lin Xian and Ling Ying brought her out to find motivation. She had also successfully advanced to the mysterious heaven realm. When she saw such outstanding girls, Han Chushua was a proud person. When she saw someone so powerful, she thought, why can't I do the same? Therefore, their actions together with Lin Xian and Ling Ying reignited Han Chushua's fighting spirit. However, what surprised Lin Xian and the others was that the poison was terrifying. They really could not take it. Fortunately, Linglong Shui was here. If she did not come, they would not have been able to come here. They would not have been able to enter. They did not have the strength to do so. Moreover, this poison did not come from the dark venom spider. Came from another poison. Lin Xian had felt the deep nether Yama spirit before. So he knew that this poison power belonged to the deep nether Yama spirit. If it was so strong, then the dark spirit must be extremely terrifying. In front of them, Thunder Tribulation Realm dark venom spiders appeared one after another. Of course, they were easily dealt with by Bing Lingyue and Linglong. Chapter 343. The two girls were too lazy to make a move and released their auras. Once they released their auras, the dark venom spiders would not dare to provoke them. Sure enough, no matter what race it was, strength was everything. What shocked everyone was that there was actually a patch of green in front of them. It was very dark here, but with a wave of Bing Lingyue's hand, the surroundings were illuminated. Bing Lingyue was not only an ice elemental, but also a light elemental. The end was in front of them. Lin Xian's eye of cave spirit could not see any secret doors, but the density of heaven and earth spiritual energy here was terrifying. It was a density that Lin Xian had never felt before, but this heaven and earth spiritual energy actually contained poison. Lin Xian believed that if it were not for Linglong Shui's power, the three of them would have been turned into a pool of blood by this poison in a dozen seconds. Lin Xian and the others walked over. This place might not have been man-made or created by the dark venom spiders. It might have existed from the beginning, or it might have been the Spider Emperor's doing. However, with this kind of poison, no one below the lower realm would be able to walk through safely. Therefore, the dark venom spiders could not cross. After all, this was not the poison in their bodies. There were many types of poison. It did not mean that you were not afraid of poison just because you used poison. The light illuminated the place. It was actually a space so big that they could not see the end. Who would have thought that the end of the 10,000 spider cave would be such a scene? There were some spider webs around. This should be the place where the Spider Emperor once stayed. For the Spider Emperor, this was definitely the best place to cultivate. It might not be long before the Spider Emperor became an extremely powerful existence in the demon realm. Unfortunately, it was not fated to die outside. Who allowed it to go out for a walk? And all the green here were dark netherworld Yama spirits. This was very terrifying. On an ordinary continent, it was difficult to see a dark netherworld Yama spirit. It could only be chanced upon and not sought. Who would have thought that there would be so many dark netherworld Yama spirits here? There were probably hundreds of them. No wonder the poison here was so terrifying. The deep Yama spirit was considered a relatively mild poisonous grass because under normal circumstances, you could approach it. Only when you touched it would it absorb the lingering poison into its body. At that time it would be more terrifying. However, when so many Abyss Yama spirits gathered together, even if they were not touched, the poisonous power of these poisonous grasses would form such a situation. How terrifying was this poison? Lin Xian felt that the ground he was walking on was already soft. It was completely corroded by the poison in the air. What shocked him the most was that in the center of these deep Yama spirits, there was a very large deep Yama spirit. It was probably no less than 2 meters, and the poison field around this deep Yama spirit could be seen with the naked eye. Except for Lin Xian, everyone must have noticed the largest abyssal Yama spirit. There are so many Abyss Yama spirits. When Linglong Shui saw this scene, she too revealed a surprised expression. She had seen deep Yama spirits before, but she had never seen such a scene. The largest deep Yama spirit should be able to give the poison attribute, right? Lin Xian asked Ling Ying next to him. Yes. Ling Ying nodded. How should she put it? To Linglong Shui, the deep ghastly Yama spirit had disappointed her. Obtaining the poison attribute and obtaining the innate attribute were 2 different concepts. She could also obtain the poison attribute, but to her who was in the absolute void realm, it was nothing. She only needed to concentrate on cultivating the space attribute. Even if she obtained the poison attribute now, no matter how much she cultivated, the combat power she obtained would not be able to help her cause any harm to the masters of the same realm in the Battle of the Great Void stage. It was too late. Maybe she could use 100 years to cultivate, but it might make her less proficient in controlling the space attribute. The disadvantages outweighed the advantages. It was the same for Bing Lingyue. If their realm was very low, they would definitely choose to absorb the poison of the deep Yama spirit. Lin Xian leaned over. Do you want it? Linglong Shui glanced at Lin Xian and asked. Lin Xian, of course, knew what Linglong Shui meant. She was asking him if he wanted the poison attribute. It was useless to her, but it was very useful to Lin Xian and the others. Forget it, I don't want to die. Lin Xian shook his head. For now, there was no need to risk his life to obtain the poison attribute, because he did not lack the attribute. But if it was a desperate situation, he would choose. I can guarantee that you will not die and obtain the poison attribute, Linglong Shui said. Obviously, she knew how strong the poison was. There is no risk of dying. Well, after all, she was in the Great Void stage. If she could not even protect Lin Xian, then she was not qualified to be in the Great Void stage. Lin Xian turned his head to look at Ling Ying and Han Chushu behind him and asked, Do you want it? In fact, it did not matter if Lin Xian wanted it or not, because he was destined to have all the attributes, but he did not lack the poison attribute. But Han Chushu and Han Chushu lacked it, and it could greatly increase their strength in the future. Han Chushu shook her head. She actually wanted it, but she remembered the strange feeling Lin Xian said before, which meant that the poison she released was particularly strange, so she gave up. If it was normal, she would not give it up for strength, but now, because there was someone she cared about, she chose to give it up. Moreover, unless she had to have it, she would not want it. Lin Xian was still here, so of course he would want it. Seeing Lin Xian look over, Ling Ying quickly shook his head and said, I don't want it either. I can't use both of my attributes, so I can't play with another one. In fact, Ling Ying also remembered Lin Xian's words. Han Chushua's poison attribute was incompatible, but she was also a peerless beauty, so she would definitely be incompatible. Yes, that was it. Then Lin Xian looked at Linglong Shui and asked, Is there anything bad about obtaining the poison attribute? Linglong Shui shook her head and said, No, it's just that when you obtain it, it will be like an attribute that you were born with, and it will exist in your dantian. You will be able to use spiritual power, and when you activate the poison, it will be released. As for how to release it, to what extent, and to what effect it will achieve, it will depend on how you cultivate the poison. And Linglong Shui thought for a while and said, After you obtain the poison, you will not be immune to all poisons, but you will be immune to many poisons that are similar in toxicity to the Abyss Yama spirit. You will even have a relative resistance to some other poisons. For you, if you are often outside, encountering some poisons is very normal. It is something worth having. Lin Xian was very touched. He did not expect Ling Longshui to be so considerate of him. She seemed to be gently patting him on the bed. Chapter 344. Before coming here, Lin Xian had indeed fantasized that he might be able to obtain the poison attribute. But in fact he didn't have much hope. But now, the poison attribute was within his reach. What should I do? Lin Xian looked at Ling Longshui and asked. Kneel down. Lin Xian, don't be naughty. Ling Longshui was indeed naughty. She was just a little unhappy with Lin Xian. Go and hold that abyssal Yama spirit first. Ling Longshui said. Can I? Lin Xian was trembling with fear. If he were to hold on to this poison, it would instantly melt him. This sovereign tells you to hold it, so hold it. Lin Xian hoped that one day he would say this to Ling Longshui. Kneel down and hold it. Oh, how cool would that be? Okay. Since Ling Longshui had said so, there was no need for Lin Xian to be a little timid. Then he walked over. Ling Longshui waved her sleeves slightly, and the power around Lin Xian's body became stronger. Then, he walked into the poison field of the abyssal Yama spirit with ease. His scalp tingled. Then Lin Xian reached out and held the root of the abyssal Yama spirit. In that instant, the entire abyssal Yama spirit changed drastically. The originally harmless green color instantly turned into a dark purple color. The blood-red veins were even more conspicuous. The most terrifying thing was the poison. Fortunately, this poison was resisted by Ling Longshui's power. Otherwise, Lin Xian felt that his arm would have melted into a pool of blood in an instant. It was really that exaggerated. The most exaggerated thing was that the poison of this abyssal Yama spirit caused the small abyssal Yama spirits around it to wither, decay, and then die. This is the abyssal Yama spirit. It doesn't look like much when it's not touched, but once it's touched, the poison will rush into the roots and quickly spread, and it's very strong. I'm afraid that this large abyssal Yama spirit can poison a low realm cultivator to death in a short period of time. If a domain realm cultivator isn't detoxified, they'll probably die as well. Seeing this scene, Ling Ying exclaimed. What happens next? Next? The corners of Ling Longshui's mouth curled up slightly. This smile was simply devastatingly beautiful. Lin Xian had never seen her smile before. It was noble, beautiful, and had a trace of craftiness. Unfortunately, he didn't get to see it this time. Then, Ling Longshui walked to Lin Xian's side and placed her white hand on Lin Xian's back. Then, Lin Xian felt the power in his body being controlled by Ling Longshui. His spiritual power was pouring into his arm that was holding the Abyss Yama spirit. Ling Longshui then revealed a shocked expression. That's right, she was shocked. There weren't many things that could shock her, but this was the first time. He actually has lightning, space, ice, and water attributes. Wait. Ling Longshui felt it slightly, and something that surprised her happened again. With Lin Xian's current strength, his attribute power was naturally not strong. After all, his realm was low, but she could sense the purity of Lin Xian's attribute. What surprised her was that Lin Xian's spatial attribute purity was actually higher than hers. Her spatial attribute purity was close to the limit, but Lin Xian's was higher than hers. In other words, Lin Xian might really have the maximum purity. She could sense that the lightning attribute was also very high, but she didn't know if it was full because she didn't have the lightning attribute, so she couldn't compare it. However, she could compare the spatial attribute with her. Why was he so heaven-defying? Or was he relying on the thing that he said he was going to give him? It should be, and that was also true. Lin Xian didn't know why either. He guessed that it was because of the rainbow sacred scales. Anyway, the attribute purity that he had unlocked was maxed out. It was just that his proficiency and control were very low. For example, he had only mastered 11% of the spatial attribute. Purity meant how strong the power of your attribute could be. For example, a thunder attribute with 10% purity could shatter a 1-meter-long rock. With the same amount of power but with 100% purity, you could shatter a rock several times larger. Wood attribute healing. The higher the wood attribute's purity, the better the healing effect. As for proficiency, it also had a lot to do with the effect, but it was more about the extent to which it could be done. Space and time, these two attributes were very special. Even if your spatial attribute's purity was full, if you couldn't master it, then it was useless. Lin Xian was in such a situation now. Lin Xian was the first person Ling Long Shui saw with 4 attributes. Previously, she only knew of 3 attributes. But on second thought, she did seem to have seen Lin Xian release multiple attributes, but she thought there were only 3. There was actually a water attribute. She couldn't understand how it could be so heaven-defying. "Hey, Xiao Linglong, don't touch me from behind. Move." Lin Xian just felt the 4 attributes in his body being drawn by Linglong Shui, which meant that she knew his attributes. Luckily, she couldn't sense the other attributes. But Lin Xian didn't have any either. It hadn't awakened yet. Lin Xian's voice came. Then Linglong Shui came back to her senses, and then power surged into Lin Xian's body. "Let me remind you, you have 4 attributes now, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Multitasking is already a big taboo in cultivation. Now that you're multitasking, cultivating 4 attributes at the same time will cause you to not be able to cultivate any of them to the mastery level. Including the poison attribute, that's 5 attributes. Do you still want them?" Linglong Shui reminded him. Lin Xian obviously understood what she meant. Having more attributes was a good thing, but it wasn't necessarily a good thing. If you only had the spatial attribute, then you would only use it to release it. Over time, you would naturally become proficient. But if you had 4 attributes and cultivated all 4, there would indeed be situations where you couldn't cultivate any of them to the mastery level. But Lin Xian didn't have to worry about this problem, because the attributes were given by the system. As long as he completed the mission, the system would directly raise the proficiency of Lin Xian's attributes to the mastery level. This was a bug in Lin Xian, and no one knew about it. So he didn't have to worry about this. He just needed to complete the mission. "It's okay, I know what I'm doing." Linglong Shui nodded slightly, and Lin Xian felt his spiritual power surge out. No, to be precise, it was as if he had become a magnet. The poison in the abyssal Yama spirit that he was holding turned into iron. The poison was sucked out, and then flowed through the skin of Lin Xian's arm into Lin Xian's hand. Whoosh, Linglong Shui's hand flashed coldly. And then Lin Xian's hand began to bleed. Hey, what are you doing? Without a wound, it's difficult for the poison to enter the body, Linglong Shui explained. Lin Xian. Why didn't he believe it? He had clearly felt the poison flowing into his body through his arm, hadn't he? Linglong Shui revealed a sly smile behind Lin Xian's back. That's right, she did it on purpose. Of course, she didn't need to make a wound. But who told him to make her so unhappy? She was bullying him because he didn't understand. Chapter 345. The Heavenly Tao Reincarnated. Who would the heavens spare? Thinking back to the past, Lin Xian also bullied Linglong Shui for her ignorance and cheated her of her treasures. At this moment, the poison flowed into Lin Xian's body through his arm. They could see that Lin Xian's arm had turned purplish-black, which was especially terrifying. If not for Linglong Shui's power helping him, this arm would be gone. He felt numb, as if he had been injected with anesthetics, but it didn't hurt. Soon Lin Xian's entire body had turned purplish-black. This scene was really frightening. If not for the fact that Linglong Shui was a virtuous realm expert, they would have asked her to stop. However, since they knew Lin Xian was definitely fine. A flash of light came. Han Chusha glanced at Ling Ying's phone. To commemorate, it's too ugly. Ling Ying held back his laughter as he looked at the picture of the purplish-black Lin Xian. "It's a little ugly," Han Chushue said quietly. "Does it hurt?" Ling Longshui asked Lin Xian from behind at this moment. "It doesn't hurt, I just feel weak all over." "Meditate." Then Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. After a while, Lin Xian felt pain all over his body. This pain gradually deepened until his entire body, including his little brother, was hurting. "It's starting to hurt," Lin Xian said with his eyes closed. "It's normal. Your body needs to adapt to this poison. Your blood, skin, internal organs, and even your bone marrow will slowly be infiltrated by the poison." Hearing Ling Longshui's words was a little scary. If not for Ling Longshui's powerful protection, Lin Xian would have died long ago. However, with Ling Longshui's power protecting Lin Xian's internal organs and body, he wouldn't be corroded by the poison. "Then doesn't that mean I've become a poison man?" Thinking of his blood and internal organs being infiltrated by the poison, Lin Xian panicked. "Don't panic." After about a minute, Lin Xian clenched his teeth tightly as sweat poured down his body like rain. The fringe in front of his forehead was already soaked in sweat and formed streaks. "It hurts." Lin Xian couldn't help but roar. Hearing this, Ling Ying and Han Chusha were shocked. It would be strange if his entire body didn't hurt. "Xiao Linglong, can you make it less painful?" Lin Xian opened his eyes and looked at Ling Long Shui. "Lin Xian. Then come quickly." "But I don't." "I'll trick you, monkey." "What do you mean?" Exquisite Shui frowned. "I'm F*********************. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and endured the pain. This girl did it on purpose. She wanted to take revenge on him. Lin Xian felt like he was going to be crippled. The deep abyss devil behind him had already withered because the poison was all in Lin Xian's body. If this poison spread out, it could kill everyone within a radius of dozens of miles. What did it mean to have a radius of dozens of miles? A big county. It was hard to imagine that such poison was in Lin Xian's small body. She really couldn't understand how the honorable poison master was able to survive such a terrifying poison. After a few more minutes, Lin Xian was drenched. He had never thought that there would be a day when his sweat would soak through both his inner and outer clothes. The kind that could be wrung out of water. "Why don't we help him?" Seeing Lin Xian's unbearable expression, Bing Lingyue said softly. Ling Longshui shook her head. "There are benefits." Although it was painful, there were indeed benefits. After another 5 minutes, Lin Xian felt like he was going to faint. But at this time, a crisp system notification in his mind woke him up. "Ing. Your physique plus 30. Physique could be thought of as a defense. When the body's tolerance for pain reached a critical point, it would be easier to withstand it again in the future. At this time, Lin Xian began to feel that the poison in his body was gathering at one point. This point was his energy center. His energy center stored Lin Xian's lightning, space, water and ice attributes. It was like the 4 planets in the universe. When Lin Xian needed this power, the planets would release the corresponding power along with the spiritual power. At this time, all the poison in his body had gathered and formed the 5th planet. The process wasn't fast, but it was very comfortable. That was because the pain was gradually weakening. Phew! Lin Xian took a deep breath. From the pain to despair, it slowly became comfortable. This process was even better than King 10 girls. Gradually, the poison in his body really gathered together and condensed into a planet. Lin Xian suddenly opened his eyes and a bright light burst out. Shwa! A burst of power erupted from Lin Xian's body. The dust on the ground suddenly rose and the surrounding dark energy from the deep hell Yama quickly entered his roots. "Awesome!" Lin Xian exclaimed. This poison was very strong. But how to say it, after it merged with Lin Xian, the strength of the poison was related to Lin Xian's spiritual power. Under normal circumstances, when Lin Xian was at Mysterious Heaven 2 Star, He should be able to poison people of the same realm and make them lose their ability to fight. If they weren't treated, they would die. Those higher than Lin Xian's realm would also be affected, but it wouldn't work if it was too high. It also needed Lin Xian to cultivate. However, this might become Lin Xian's killing weapon. Then Lin Xian stretched out his hand and lightning condensed. Xiao Linglong, take this. After that, Lin Xian's lightning struck Linglong Shui. Linglong Shui didn't even move and the lightning was annihilated in front of her. Then her beautiful eyes lit up. Because the poison was hidden in the lightning just now. In other words, Lin Xian directly condensed the two powers and released them together. This was the benefit of having multiple attributes. But she couldn't do it in her lifetime. But it didn't matter. This was enough. That's right, Lin Xian hid the poison attribute in the lightning. In other words, Lin Xian's lightning not only had explosive damage, but also a strong poison. It would be fine if they didn't get hit. But once they got hit, even if the opponent blocked it, the poison would definitely hit them. Once it hit, they would be poisoned. This was a dual power. It was similar to how space and lightning worked together to create an unexpected effect. However, the difficulty of this was too great. When Lin Xian reached the large success stage of space, he would be able to do it easily. But comparatively speaking, the combination of lightning and poison was too simple. Lin Xian only needed to release these two powers at the same time and combine them to unleash the attack. However, what other tricks Lin Xian could play with this poison attribute would depend on how well he could control it. He didn't have any martial arts techniques, but it was probably because this wasn't his own attribute power. The poison attribute consumed a lot of spiritual power. Ling Ying had a headache. There was an inexplicable shadow. This Lin Xian had a strong poison in his body. When the time came, she wouldn't be poisoned, right? Probably not. Chapter 346. Lin Xian felt great. With the addition of the poison attribute, although he wasn't very familiar with it, he could at least release it in the simplest way. He could even release it together with lightning. As for what level he could reach in the future, it would depend on how he cultivated and how good his comprehension was. Linglong Shui raised her slender arm slightly, and the poison of the hundreds of deep abyss Yama spirits rose into the air at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then Linglong Shui gathered them together. Then, Lin Xian slowly pushed the poison of the hundreds of small deep abyss Yama spirits in front of Lin Xian. The black mist entered Lin Xian's body from his lower abdomen. This small black mist was a combination of the poison of hundreds of deep abyss Yama spirits. If it exploded, one could imagine what terrible things would happen. However, it entered Lin Xian's body just like that. Following that, Lin Xian felt the poison seep into the planet that represented the poison attribute, and the planet grew stronger. The poison increased. Phew! Lin Xian exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, then looked at Linglong Shui. He stretched out his hand, and a dark green mist condensed from the poison gathered in his palm. What realm can this poison harm? Lin Xian asked Linglong Shui. If you release it at full strength, even a profound heaven realm 5-star will be instantly weakened once poisoned. If they don't detoxify, they will die within a day. If they are in the same realm, once poisoned, they will instantly lose their ability to fight and die within an hour. As for increasing the poison's power, there are many ways. The most direct way is to refine or devour the poison of the same kind. It can only be deep abyss Yama spirits. This sovereign told you that there are many poisons. Although they come from different units, some of them are similar in toxicity. You just need to find the ones with similar toxicity. However, it's not that easy to find a spirit item that can increase the poison's power. Your current situation is enough for now. Linglong Shui said faintly. Thank you. Just remember what you promised this sovereign. Of course, don't forget about the medicinal pills. Linglong Shui nodded slightly and said, Go back. Lin Xian looked at Ling Ying and Han Chushue. The two girls nodded, and then Lin Xian said, "Okay, get in the car?" Han Chushue quietly said from behind, "There aren't enough seats." "No need. Slow." Then Ling Long Shui and Bing Lingyue disappeared. Lin Xian, "Yes, it's too slow. Other people can travel 200 kilometers in 10 seconds. What about us?" Lin Xian muttered to himself helplessly. Then Lin Xian reacted. "Damn, you can't even send us to the entrance of the 10,000 spider cave. Let's go." Then the three of them embarked on their journey back. When they arrived at the entrance of the cave, there were still many people rushing inside. Little did they know that there was nothing left inside, only some demonic beasts. The most precious thing was with Lin Xian. Han Chushue drove the car, Ling Ying sat in the passenger seat, and Lin Xian lay in the back, playing with a poisonous gas in his hand. "That's strange. The poison master's poisonous gas can't be seen, right?" Lin Xian asked. "Yes, it can't be seen at all. But your poisonous gas seems to be visible." Ling Ying replied. Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. Even though it's very faint, that black fog is poison. Naturally, many people will pay attention to it when they see it. If they can hide the poison completely like the Honorable Poison Master, then it will be even more effective. But if you release the poisonous gas and your lightning at the same time, no one will notice the purple and faint black. It is indeed an excellent combination." She was also very envious of Lin Xian, but her wind and dark elemental attributes were already enough for her. There was indeed no need for her to cultivate the poison attribute. She was really afraid that Lin Xian would accidentally poison himself to death when he was refining other poisons. Lin Xian nodded and said, "I don't know if my pee is poisonous." "Ling Ying, can't you just die?" Ling Ying helplessly cursed. She inexplicably thought that the thing Lin Xian made her eat, would it be poisonous? Thinking about it, her little face turned red. Pei. Ling Ying, Ling Ying, you used to be such a pure girl. Why are you thinking about this kind of thing now? Dirty. Ding, felt Ling Ying's shyness. Scumbag value plus 20,000. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. What was this girl thinking about? Why was she being shy? Of course it wouldn't be poisonous. This kind of poison was like lightning, space, and other attributes. It would only be activated when you deliberately used your spiritual power. What time is it? Lin Xian looked at his phone. It was only 12 o'clock in the morning. It wouldn't even be 2 o'clock when he returned to Tianhua City. As the saying goes, when the moon is dark and the wind is high, beauties will flip the sky. It was such a good time, and there were two beauties in the car. If he didn't do something, how could he be worthy of being outside in the middle of the night, worthy of being a handsome guy, worthy of his surging power? Why are you asking about the time? Are there any other activities? Ling Ying sensitively asked. It was already so late. This guy couldn't have returned to Tianhua City to do something bad, right? No, he couldn't let him run away. No, I just don't know where to sleep tonight. Lin Xian sighed and said. Can't you go home? Han Chushu asked curiously. I didn't bring my keys. Ling Ying, you didn't bring your stinky keys. She saw Lin Xian with her own eyes. Even if he didn't bring his keys, she still had them. This guy had bad intentions. Then don't you also have the space attribute to go home? Lin Xian. Wow. Why did he have to have this damn space attribute? *CK. How could he make this up so that he wouldn't go home? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian. Make it up, keep making it up. I'll just watch you quietly. Hey men, you're a big braised pig trotter. Little fairy isn't home tonight. I never dare to sleep in a place where there's no one around. Why? Han Chushu really believed Lin Xian's nonsense. It was mainly because she didn't know Lin Xian well. If it was someone who knew Lin Xian, such as Ling Ying, she wouldn't believe it even if she died. A man's mouth was a liar. Lin Xian sighed and said, I had a trauma when I was young. As for what happened, I won't tell you. Since then I can't turn off the lights when I sleep. Luckily my sister is at home. Knowing that there's someone at home, I feel more at ease. Han Chushu nodded seriously. That's true. Some things when you're young can leave an indelible trauma for life. Ling Ying was stunned. Oh my god. Han Chushu really believed it. She wasn't so stupid before. Also, turn on your sister's lights. When did you turn on the lights? It was fine if this guy was making things up, but he could still make things up in front of her without blushing. He was an expert. Chapter 347. Lin Xian then sighed and said, I forgot to bring my ID. I'm afraid that I'll lose it during the battle. It's so troublesome to get a new ID. I can't even stay in a hotel. Besides, I never stay in that kind of place because I'm the only one sleeping there. Ling Ying secretly rubbed his forehead. He really knew how to make things up. He didn't know how many of these tricks he had made up to fool him. There must be. Ling Ying believed him, but even if there was, what could he do? She had already been taken down by Lin Xian. She could only blame herself for being young and ignorant. She couldn't stand a man's flowery words. If she was given another chance, she definitely wouldn't be tricked by Lin Xian. So what if she was taken? If you dare to come near me again, I'll beat you to death with a hammer. Then, what are you going to do? Tonight. Han Chushu really believed Lin Xian's words. The key was that Lin Xian's performance was too vivid. Most importantly, she didn't know Lin Xian well enough. How about, I sleep at your place tonight? Lin Xian suddenly said. Ah! Han Chushu's pretty face turned slightly red. Ling Ying. F***ck. She knew it. She guessed that Lin Xian was going to say this. Let's not talk about whether anything would happen if Lin Xian went to Han Chushu's place. As long as he went there, it was enough. Even if nothing happened, it would be too easy to go to Han Chushu's place to sleep after the first time. This way, if it happened more often, it would be easier to do things that weren't suitable for children. This was a deliberate plan. Don't ask how Ling Ying knew Lin Xian's thoughts. Because she took the bait step by step. It was really scary. This kind of thing only happened once and countless times. She finally realized. Your villa is so big. There must be a lot of rooms. Just find me a room. If there's someone at home, I'll be able to sleep peacefully. Lin Xian said matter-of-factly. Ling Ying secretly gritted her teeth. Damn bastard. Do you want to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, sneak into Han Chushu's room, and then use the excuse that you're not familiar with someone else's house and walked into the wrong room? Then maybe something will happen. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. F***ck. Lin Xian's body shook. His intricate plan had been seen through by Ling Ying. What the hell? Did she understand him so well now? That's right, Lin Xian really wanted to use this method to sneak into Han Chushu's room. Even if nothing happened, there would already be some ambiguity between them, which would help in the future. Of course, Lin Xian didn't have the confidence to sneak into Han Chushu's room tonight and win her heart. It was almost impossible, even if she had feelings for him. But as long as he sneaked in, there would definitely be some ambiguity between them. That was something he didn't need to think about. Moreover, Lin Xian felt that he had done a good job in controlling his relationship with girls. For example, if Lin Xian felt that he could sneak into a girl's room, it wouldn't lower her favorability rating. Instead, it would increase the level of ambiguity. If he could hold hands with a girl or kiss her, it would lower her favorability rating. Lin Xian felt that he was quite accomplished in this aspect. Although they had only known each other for a short time, Lin Xian felt that it was enough because they had a high starting point. Another example was Xiao Runing. Lin Xian felt that he could hold her hand, or even pinch her butt. Of course, it had to be done in a shameless manner, and it couldn't be done too many times. Another example was Miao Xiao Miao. Lin Xian felt that he was at the level where he could sneak into her room. Of course, if it was Ling Long Shui, Lin Xian would probably be sent flying if he held her hand. Although her favorability was more than 20, that was her character setting. Han Chusha was stunned when she heard Ling Ying's words. It can't be. So wretched. How could that be? You think too much of me. Lin Xian smiled bitterly, then secretly glared at Ling Ying. How dare you disturb me when I'm flirting with girls? Ling Ying didn't back down at all and glared back at Lin Xian. Can't I disturb you when you're flirting with girls? Is it reasonable for you to flirt with other girls in front of your real girlfriend? Lin Xian was terrified. He had a better grasp of Ling Ying's inner thoughts. She definitely didn't want Lin Xian to flirt with other girls, but she couldn't control him. That was why Lin Xian dared to flirt with girls in front of her. Mainly, Lin Xian also knew Ling Ying's inner thoughts. Otherwise, which man would dare to do that? Lin Xian was probably the only one who could openly flirt with a girl in front of his official girlfriend. Moreover, it was a very safe thing to do. Ling Ying knew that Lin Xian was spouting nonsense, so of course, she knew what Lin Xian was trying to do. Humph. She snorted and didn't continue to stop Lin Xian. After all, she had already prepared for something that might happen between Lin Xian and Han Chushue. As for the future, if Lin Xian really got together with Han Chushue, Ling Ying didn't know what her relationship with Lin Xian and Han Chushue would be like. She could only take it one step at a time. Although she had wronged herself, she had helped her best friend. Quit. Ling Ying didn't think she would. Because she couldn't bear to do it now. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. It's over. His original plan for tonight was exposed by Ling Ying, so he couldn't use it. But he had to stay at Han Chushue's house tonight. Even if nothing happened, he still had to. For him to flirt with girls, there were only advantages and no disadvantages. What was the highest level of a scumbag? That was flirting with girls in front of your girlfriend. At most, your girlfriend would complain to you, but she wouldn't break up with you. That was the highest level. When it came to this level, it would be Lin Xian's passionate mission. Two at once. To be able to make two good girls agree to this. That was really invincible. What kind of ability did he need to be able to do this? That's fine. Ling Ying, you can stay at my place tonight. Han Chushue said to Ling Ying. Of course, Ling Ying had to stay. Although she couldn't stop Lin Xian from flirting with Han Chushue, she didn't want Lin Xian to flirt with her so easily. She wasn't happy. Without her, Ling Ying felt that with Lin Xian's flirting skills, Han Chushue might be defeated under his evil claws tonight. Don't look at how cold Han Chushue was and how people didn't dare to approach her. Ling Ying knew that she didn't have any experience when it came to relationships, men's flowery words, and tricks to trick girls. She had never been in a relationship, and she rarely had contact with men. Many men pursued her, but Han Chushue didn't give them any chance to show off their flirting skills. So Han Chushue had no experience at all. But at the same time, she liked Lin Xian. Under this premise, Lin Xian had the opportunity to show off his flirting skills. So Han Chushue was easily hooked. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.